Last night, Jordan Walker became the first Cardinals player to win the Home Run Derby. He homered on his final 6 swings to beat Kyle Schwarber. You can hear the All-Star game tonight at 5 o'clock right here on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. And Spain just wrapped up a 2-0 win over France. They are advancing to the World Cup final. England and Argentina in the other semifinal tomorrow at noon.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, he's back after a whirlwind golf tour. Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you. You're back.
There was
You're
lots
healthy.
of golf.
You didn't get hurt, Dave.
I get centered here.
How's it going now?
It's going fine. Yeah, I did not hurt anything, so that was good. I didn't hurt anybody else either.
Oh,
so
that's
that
the most
was,
important.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. My moment of glory was yesterday at, I don't know what hole it was. Like, because you go and you start like a shotgun where everybody goes to a certain hole. It was like the 4th or 5th hole. And they had like a camera there. And they're asking me all these questions and things like that. Then they film the one good shot that I made. It was like a probably 30-foot putt, and I drained it.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah. And that was my only good shot.
Okay.
And it was caught on film.
So I can tell you're not like a diehard freak golfer because someone like Bump would have known exactly like the pin location, the hole, how the wind was blowing. He would have been like, 120 yards out on the 13th. Northwesterly breeze, so-and-so. I don't know.
Throwing grass up in the air.
It sounds like
that.
Bump was dropping a lot of knowledge today, though, Matt. So we come in, and they're like, everyone's cracking up about something. Okay. So having the FOMO that I have, I was like, all right, well, what happened? And Matt said he would just play it for us.
Yeah, so this is some insight Bump gave earlier today during Bump and Stacy.
I think he's a solid number 2. I think he's could be amongst the best number 2s.
What's the reference, though?
He said solid number 2.
I know, but who is he talking about?
That's the whole joke. That's hilarious.
It is.
What are you talking about?
It is funny, but I'm
you
curious
are
now.
allergic to having fun.
I want the
sometimes,
context
Lefko.
of it. Like, who was he talking about that prompted that?
The point is that there isn't context.
No. Hey,
the lack of
is
context is the comedy.
Yeah.
I'm laughing more at this exchange than I am the solid number 2, but I can't laugh at Bump because I say that kind of stuff all the time.
I know.
There was one time where Bob all of a sudden goes, and I go, oh, well, what did I just say? And he had to tell me. I had no idea I said that. So nice work. Nice contribution there. Bump was like me. He was on the golf tour. We both played in the Jacob Green golf tournament, which was Friday. And then he played at another one, I think, up at Sahalee. And I played in Mike Tice, his foundation. They help Boys and Girls Club and help families and things like that. And it was a great charity. Jacob Green, his golf tournament is for Fred Hutchinson, helping families facing cancer. So good work by both those guys, both ex-teammates of mine. Jacob Green and Mike Tice, both just great guys. So yeah, it was fun. But I saw Bump out. But I got to gas up our guy Paul Moyer. He was crushing it on the tour.
Is he going to be bragging about it next time he joins us?
He was pretty humble about it, but like he had like the longest drive on one hole, and then his team won the Jacob Green tournament, I believe, and then there was a tie yesterday when it was like a putt off, and it was like, Paul and I'm trying to remember. Oh, Mike Smith, he's a longtime NFL coached in Atlanta. It was him, and then Luke Sikma was the other one, and he went down there barefoot. And they had to, it was like a 3-way putt off to see who was going to win. And I think Paul ended up not making that one, but he was just crushing it.
Did he go to ground himself to get a feel of the green?
That's what he was doing with
players.
it.
They walk around. Yeah. That might be an unfair advantage. You could just feel it in your bones, the slope, the break of that green.
Yeah. So I mean, and there was lots of great ex-teammates. Remember Ed Too Tall Jones?
Oh, yeah. He was out there?
I mean, he was at Jacob's tournament. And I was like, wow, I got to meet him. Also, another guy that I always really liked, Eldridge Rukasner. He was a Husky basketball player, played in the NBA. Just loved watching him play. Got a chance to see him. So, yeah, I mean, it was on the golf tour, so I'm a little foggy today. Yeah, it was a lot of travel, a lot of fun.
Well, I was going to say, and you also were there in the midst of a Seahawks golf tournament when some Seahawks news had just happened.
Yeah.
So I imagine that was a big topic of conversation. Seahawks were sold over the weekend. Vinod Khosla and his family purchased them for $9.6 billion. You were doing some quick math over there. That it's a nice investment from the Paul Allen days about what that trust is going to make. I know it's all going to charity, but yes, you can see that an NFL team is a good investment. Was there a lot of discourse about that? I mean, we'll get your thoughts on it. We'll kind of weigh in on positives, maybe some potential concerns and things to watch out for over these upcoming months as this transition happens. But what was kind of the state of discussion being around a lot of Seahawks as this sale had just happened?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot. I think that there was a lot of people that were there, getting like autographs and stuff like that. And I think the general conversation just is all anybody, I think, really cares about. Number one is, well, you look at the family, and Condota wrote a big article about the Khosla family, and is it Niru, his wife? And so I think she's going to be listed as the owner. So then, that way you have a woman owner. So she's going to be the, number one on the ledger or whatever. And so you look at everything that they've touched has just been gold. I mean, just incredible. But what do they care about? They care about, are you going to be, like David Tepper and try to, because that's the rumor. I don't know any hard and fast, things about him as an owner other than that he's known to meddle.
Yeah.
And, he kind of gets in the way. And, and I think all anybody cares is that, I think signing Witherspoon is a big deal. And I think people are kind of concerned about that. But for the most part, it was just like, are they gonna just be kind of hands-off owners? Because, Mike and Jon have a really good thing going right now. And so especially for Mike McDonald being so young, I think, did he just turn 37 or 38? Yep. So, I mean, you got him for a long time. Jon has won 2 Super Bowls with 2 completely different rosters. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the main thing that people were concerned about, and that, in the foursome I was in, or fivesome, I guess, that's really all anybody was talking about.
Yeah, there are kind of 2 schools of thought. We'll play a couple of differing perspectives of, yes, you're coming in, and with the way NFL franchises are now, you have to pony up a ton of money. So naturally, you're going to be interested in seeing your investment, in a sense, pay off, and you could have good owners who pour resources in that to see it grow, or you could have someone like in the case of a Tom Dundon, who is he has such a negative connotation when it comes to ownership. What he's doing right now with the Trailblazers, you go in and you strip everything that's seen as extraneous or unnecessary from an investment standpoint, perhaps, but from running and working in a sports franchise, it's a little bit different. We know how important it is to have massive staffs like the Seahawks do, like every NFL team does, and their research departments, their coaching staffs, all those things. So you do hope they aren't adversely meddling. I think you can be hands-on in a way that, hands-on, hands-off kind of gets a different connotation of, well, if you're hands-on, that's kind of seen as bad. I can think of it as, and we'll talk to Hombre at 3:30, someone like the Eagles ownership group, they're invested in it. They're kind of active, but they trust their people. So I would ask, hey, if you're kind of, I don't want an absentee owner. I want someone who's there, who is kind of almost, even though they're in charge, deferring to the football people.
Right.
So these people coming in have no idea how to run an NFL franchise. They're very successful in their aspect of business. They've made billions of dollars, literally. But an NFL franchise is different. We talk about that all the time with sports ownership. It's not like a venture capitalist fund. You need to let the football people do what they do best. So I would hope that they sit down with John Schneider and say, what do you need from us? We're here to provide resources, but we don't want them, weighing in on draft picks like Jerry Jones, or kind of saying, well, hey, we like this guy. Should we hire him to do this? And just kind of getting in the way.
Yeah.
And I think there's the good and the bad there. I want to play you this from Albert Breer. He was on the Monday Morning Quarterback podcast, the podcast that Sports Illustrated does, talking about kind of maybe a negative of new ownership groups and how they see NFL franchises.
And I remember talking to somebody about one of these owners that bought one of these teams. It was an NFL team. I'm not going to name the team, but they said, oh yeah, somebody told me, oh yeah, he views this as like a real estate holding. I'm like, why would you buy an NFL? It's like, well, what other business is going to guarantee you the level of appreciation an NFL team will? it's an incredible investment. And so I think that this exists across sports now. The private equity thing's definitely a part of it where, okay, is my owner in it because he wants to win, or is he in it to win, but to win so long as I'm doing good business along the way?
Yeah, I mean, and they've, been under the ownership of Paul Allen and Jody Allen, and Paul Allen's a pretty good businessman. I mean, that was, look, I texted you this. I'm like, Mike, what's that called when you make 50 times your money? So, yeah, it was $194 million in '97 when they sold it. Reminder that $1 billion is 1,000 million, and so if you take $194 million times 50, that's about what the sale is at, or somewhere around there. So yeah, it's great business, but also you just you just hope that they're like, okay, let's let the people, and you look at, I was going through and looking at the staff on Seahawks.com, and there's probably between 275, 300 people that are working in all kinds of different ways, whether it's scouting or, the sports performance guys. We had all those people, those kinds of people on with the John Schneider show this year. And so it just expanded and become much more of it's become more scientific, really. I mean, you have all kinds of different, like there's hydration specialists. Honestly, I mean, it's like, how do we, because we're paying these guys millions and millions of dollars, how do we make them, perform at the highest level possible? And that's kind of what they've got going on. So, I mean, it has exploded from the time when I played, but yeah, $194 million. You're like, wow, that's a pretty good investment that you made there. Ended up selling it for 9.612,
slightly
or something
over,
like that. Yeah,
we'll
so
round up $1 billion or so.
Yeah. So, and by the way, I was driving down for one of the OTAs, and there was it seemed like a mile long of black SUVs that were just racing down the road outside of the complex. And it was there was 20 cars that were coming, and they were going at high speed, and they had a police escort and everything. That's how billionaires apparently, that's how they travel. That's how they get around, because I was like, what was that? And somebody said, yeah, I think it was an ownership, group there. And I'm not sure if it was them or not, but yeah, I mean, it's a big deal, and it's a hugely profitable, big time game. And it's just, anybody that invests in the NFL is going to get huge amounts of money back. So it's just so incredibly popular, and we talk about it all the time, Mike. I mean, we're talking about the draft, and you have how many hundreds of thousands of people showed up to that? And that's just the draft. I mean, not the Super Bowl or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, it's just everything about it is, and we've all gotten humbled over the last few weeks with soccer and worldwide. That's huge, and those players are making way more money, and the franchises are bringing in lots of money. But as far as the NFL goes, it's just been like the golden ticket, basically.
So that was the negative, maybe the potential downside that Albert Breer brought up. But Mike Garafolo on NFL Insiders was talking about something I think maybe will ease some concerns, in mentioning that he has heard from people around the Seahawks, the new ownership group kind of fits with what this current group and the front office, everyone involved with the Seahawks, was looking for.
So as much as I'm talking about the money here, it's about more than just the money. And I've heard this said repeatedly. Owning an NFL team is like joining a country club. You can have the money, but do you get approved, and are you selected to be part of this whole crew here? And I think the big reason here, or the big point I should make here, is that this is a team that has a certain culture, and the belief is that this new ownership group, based on the estate of Paul Allen, believes that this group is going to match that culture that they have in Seattle. Is going to be excellent with regard to communicating and being a part of this fan base.
You hear aligned a lot. Right.
That was important.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think Mike McDonald, we always talk about how he's kind of a nerd. I mentioned Jon. I mean, he's just been killing it as far as, like, he's on a heater as far as drafting some of the midseason trades. But then, you've got a guy, Mike Macdonald, that likes the numbers. And, he was a guy that probably could have been a hedge fund manager. And then he went the way of football. And, everything, like I said, is very scientific. They have, like, every kind of specialist that you can possibly have. So, I think that's probably going to be something that, these owners that's why they are coming in and buying this team, is because they like the fact that it's not just about putting on the pads and going out there. It's about all the other things and running it like a business, of course, but then also, just giving, your players the best possible facilities, coaching, nutritional help, everything. So, yeah, it seems like, and look, we don't really know. We don't know what the personalities are like just yet, but I just can't imagine the Allens selling it to someone like, David Tepper, who is going to come in and try to, change things and do things their way.
Yeah, so the official vote will happen a little over a month from now. The owners are going to meet on August 26th. 24 of the additional 31 owners, obviously the Seahawks owner will not vote. So out of the 31 owners, 24 have to approve it. Feels like that's a done deal, or else you don't get this far where the Seahawks announce it, this group announced it. So that'll happen then. My concern is what happens in between that time, because that's a critical portion of the offseason. And I think in trying to gauge what we'll learn first about this ownership group, well, the first immediate big money spending they'll have to do is approve a Devon Witherspoon contract extension.
Yeah.
And that's looming out there. And we'll talk about this at 2:30. Leonard Williams, he's in the final year of his deal as well. That might be a little easier to get done, because I feel like at this point in his career, maybe more receptive to negotiating and coming down to the Seahawks terms, or vice versa, because he's already had a big contract. Devon Witherspoon is waiting for his first big payday. He also perhaps wants to be one of the highest paid cornerbacks in football. And you and Bob have broken this down. You have a new price point of Trent McDuffie, got this massive deal in the offseason. So they have to shell out money in addition to now all the money that's going to be paid for JSN. That contract's going to kick in, and a few other guys. And, oh, by the way, remember we heard reports of the Seahawks are going to start work on a new facility, right? That came out there, like a training facility, a new headquarters. All of a sudden, you get the bill here for the Seahawks, $9.6 billion. Oh, by the way, maybe an additional half to close $1 billion that you're going to have to shell out. None of that can happen until August 26th. Does that put you behind the eight ball when it comes to trying to negotiate with a guy like Devon Witherspoon? Because then all of a sudden the season starts next week for the Seahawks.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a concern. And also, you look at, Devon Witherspoon is one of those guys, and we've talked about this a million, just to put it back on the field. You can't just look at his numbers. You can't do that. You have to watch him play. You have to, realize what he brings. And I'm sure Mike McDonald, I feel like that's his favorite guy. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't play favorites, but that's a guy that allows him to do exactly what he wants to do defensively. And so, yeah, you hope that they're not going to look at his numbers and go, they're going to listen to Mike McDonald and John Schneider about what he means to this team. And we're getting kind of specific, just one guy, but you're right. Like you said, we'll talk about it later, but with, also Big Cat and his contract coming up. And just because there's a salary cap, that doesn't mean that every owner wants to spend up to the salary cap, right? Yeah. I think, but if you look at how this team has performed over the years and what it's worth now, it's a record. Wasn't the last sale? Was the last sale of the Panthers, or was it the
Commanders?
Or was it the Commanders?
Slightly over $6 billion.
Yeah. So this is a huge increase here. So, but yeah, I don't see it stopping. And now all of a sudden, you've got Roger Goodell trying to conquer the world. Playing games all over the world, and so like I said, we kind of got humbled with the soccer and what a big deal that is just globally. But, I think the NFL is heading that way, and that's what they want to be.
Yeah, I think so. In terms of everyone's reaction, very immediate, obviously, as you can imagine, when you hear something new and it's unfamiliar, and a lot of people wanted a group with local ties. It wasn't going to be feasible with the amount of money it costs to run an NFL franchise. And I know Salk brought this up after the sale happened, that you're going to have some other people part of the ownership group, minority owners that still could come from around here. So perhaps you have local ties in that aspect, and that could help perhaps mitigate some costs. But for me, the immediate and kind of litmus test, all right, what kind of ownership group will this be? Will it be good or will it be bad? Tough to tell right away, but that contract and whether they're willing to incur costs, to me, that's a sign of, look, all right, if something happens with Witherspoon, it gets signed, as we hope it will, because progress was building towards that. Good. They're willing to take on that cost. If for some reason it drags on into middle of the season or even as the season's winding down, that would start to give me a little bit of hesitation of like, okay, what's this group doing? Are they just waiting to assess all the financial costs, and are they weighing a balance sheet, or are they fully invested in trying to help keep this team where it's going and winning? But I think they do come into a better situation, Dave, that, we can talk about this a little bit more throughout the show and tomorrow as well, that you don't often buy a franchise like the Seahawks. Sometimes you buy a team that's a disaster, like you mentioned, the Panthers or the Commanders, and people come in and maybe think they have to do a lot more. So hopefully this group, obviously very smart people, they are billionaires. They went to Stanford.
They all went to Stanford.
Dave came in, he's like, yeah, they went to Stanford. Like, all right, so they're very smart. Hopefully they see what's in front of them, that this is a ship that is smooth sailing right now. You don't have to mess with it, and we'll see what happens from there. So we'll talk about all of that as the show progresses here. A lot to get to. Wyman is back. He's back for the rest of the week. But right now, let's take two. Well, Dave, the All-Star game tonight coming up at 5 o'clock. You can hear it right here on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. This might be my favorite stat or a little tidbit around the All-Star game. So the National League pitcher, Christopher Sanchez, he's the first Phillies pitcher to start the All-Star game since Roy Halladay in 2011. And on the American League side, Dylan Cease is the first Blue Jays pitcher to start the All-Star game since Roy Halladay in 2009.
How about that? Yeah, that's really cool. And, and it happens to be in Philadelphia, so that's going to be a big deal. Last night in the home run derby, there was booze.
Schwarber, that was wild, yeah.
Schwarber lost, and so it was kind of a bummer for the winner there. But that's a really interesting, cool way to kick it off.
We'll talk a little bit more about the home run derby. Charlie's coming back. He was here yesterday, Dave. He graciously is coming back from 4 to 5. He's like, I got to talk to Wyman. So he's popping back in. Morosi will join us at 3 o'clock. And then, we're very Philly-centric, very timely All-Star game things. El Hombre, we're sliding him in at 3:30 before the All-Star game. I'm fascinated to know if he was among the booers last night at the home run derby. If he went, he's probably going to say, nah, it was too late. I don't think that got done until like 11:30 or midnight out there. But we'll see. And the sport that Dave was just captivated with. Could barely drag him away and get him on the show here. World Cup semifinals. Spain beats France to advance to the World Cup final. That'll be on Sunday. England, Argentina, and the other semi tomorrow at noon.
Was it Spain?
I need your big analysis here.
Spain was the favorite, right?
They both were kind of interchangeably ranked, like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Like one team was top of the world, and then they switched out as the tournament started. But these are the top 2 teams in the world. Analysis aside, because we really don't care. What do you think about this whole event? Are you going to be sad it's over? Are you happy it'll be done? We don't have to pretend to care about soccer.
I stopped paying attention once the U.S. got knocked out, I'll be honest. But, I couldn't have told you, other than I knew Spain probably was going to be in the mix. But, no, I think gained an appreciation. Yeah, I thought it was cool. And it was cool that it came here to Seattle. And, I found myself watching the games and just kind of staring at it's kind of mesmerizing a little bit, the soccer is. But I still think, they should count the minutes down instead of up. But other than that,
or just
pretty good.
Have an actual clock. Stop making up as you go along at the end of the games and the halves here.
Yeah, it's
like, how much time's left? We don't know. We can think. That is, yes, the official on the field, but it is always kind of funny, and it undercuts the purpose of your sport when the announcers on a national and international TV broadcast are like, we truly don't know. Only the official knows how much time is left.
Well, do you remember when the Seahawks tried to kick that field goal to beat the Rams? They had one play, and there was 1 second on the clock. And it was
this past season, right?
Yeah, this last year, and it was the one that we missed and obviously lost at L.A. But, I mean, that was like within a split second. And these guys are just kind of like, oh, yeah, just add another couple minutes.
Can you imagine in the NFL You're down to the final 2 minutes, and you're like, here come the Seahawks for a last-second field goal. Maybe. We don't know. I mean, there could be a couple minutes left after this kick.
They're like, no, we didn't give you enough time there.
Or
sorry, game's over.
They're lining up for it. That's it. Too bad. And that's how a Super Bowl ends or something. Anyway, it's been great to have sports on in the middle of the day in the summer on a Tuesday.
True.
Outside of that, I don't think we'll really miss it at all. All right, well, Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Yes, contract questions will be the first big test for this ownership group. And unfortunately, there are a lot of them coming up for the Seahawks. We'll dive into the priorities this offseason and into the season for who the Seahawks need to re-sign. Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you. It's Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
The Seahawks sold
to Vinod Khosla and his family.
What do we know about the new owners?
I like to say failure does not matter. It's success that matters.
You make it yours as an owner, but you still keep what has made this franchise so successful.
Leave it alone.
Just give me a clone of Jody Allen and just how she approached it.
We are the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks. Seattle Sports. Find everything you need to know at seattlesports.com.
Fast Home Services is a 5-tool player. One call for it all. Water heaters, plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical. It's Dave Wyman here in the same Seattle company that's handled your hot water since 1986, now handling everything that keeps the house running. One number, one team, home field advantage for your actual home. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds across water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Hello. Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi?
They even brought their own devices and spell book.
You didn't give them the new Wi-Fi password, right?
No.
That's good.
I gave them our old one. Because Xfinity lets us keep the same network name and password so devices connect instantly.
What do they want Wi-Fi for anyways?
Better not to know. Plausible deniability.
Get streaming or scheming instantly with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in one price for the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi for 5 years. Guaranteed. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change presents Wisdom from the Road.
Summer means wide open spaces and a whole lot of extra miles. The last place you want your engine to give out is halfway to nowhere. Out here, low oil or a weak battery is just an ambush waiting to happen. That's why every oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change includes an 18-point maintenance check. These techs are trained to help spot issues early and keep you riding easy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Change wisely.
11 days.
Until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All-Star game is tonight. We'll turn you over to it at 5 o'clock. Dave, we're easing you back into it. You know?
Yeah.
3-hour show today, full shows the rest of the week. Getting you back up to speed.
Yeah, it was like Thursday night, big banquet for Jacob Green and that whole, ceremony, and then his golf tournament, then got a day off, then went and had the dinner with Mike Tice, saw a bunch of my old teammates and buddies, guys like Paul Scanzi, and a guy named Mike Nolan, who coached for a long time in the NFL that I had as a coach at Stanford. And so got a chance to catch up with a lot of really, really cool people and for a couple of really good causes.
Well, you weren't with Matt or myself, so obviously not too cool of people.
Oh, because you guys weren't there?
Yeah.
I like your T-shirt today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I got Rick Riz.
Yeah.
Shouting out Rick
See,
Riz.
Matt was about to jump in with some kind of insult, but then you turned the subject back to a compliment. So, sorry. Next time, we'll get you in there.
I was just going to say it's the only time Lefko's ever been considered an interesting person.
Yeah, this is a cool shirt. So the backstory of this,
Has
Charlie
this been going
has
on?
one.
Did this go on yesterday as well? The back and forth here, you two getting after each other?
Not really.
No. All right.
That's only when we're in the same room.
It's a lot easier for me when there's a pane of glass separating us.
I gotcha.
Yeah. This is a shirt that Charlie has as well, and we are joking about him wearing it to match. And he was like, I'm not going to do that. But just in case he does, I wore it in.
Why don't I have one of those? It's Rick Riz with a Santa hat on, and it says "Ho Ho Holy Smokes."
Yes,
and
it's
then
for
you got
Rizmas Toys for Kids, his event that he ran Thursday. It was like the last Thursday home game, and he ran it for all of his kids that he gives. He says, "What a wonderful charity! It's a ton of work he does in the community. Wonderful stuff." He was giving those shirts away, and you were just gone. You were already on your way to your golf. So.
I love that it's just a big picture of Rick Riz smiling with that. I mean, that just has to cheer you up.
I know.
See that.
So if I wear it on my chest, everyone's looking at it. They get cheered up by staring at me instead of getting mad by looking at me. So you kind of offset that as well.
Does that work, Matt?
Didn't work on me.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say.
Not even Rick Riz's smiling face could help me when Lefko walked in.
All right. Well, it works.
I pretty much knew
else.
that was coming.
So while you were
Set
gone,
yourself
Dave, we kind of We had a lot of baseball discussions that we'll get back to today because, Charlie's coming back in from 4 to 5. Jon Morosi will join us coming up at 3, but not essential, but it's still something that now has become at the forefront as we get closer and closer to the start of the season. All these contracts for the Seahawks, or all these guys that are about to get paid, it's the immediacy and then future contracts as well. So not even talking about ownership and whether they'll approve contracts or not, but just how the Seahawks, how this front office manages everything, because they've already paid JSN. They have already paid, and while not top of the market, like you're not paying Charles Cross as the most expensive lineman, you've paid Charles Cross and Abe Lucas and Derek Hall. Leonard Williams now, who has just come in as the number 1 defensive tackle in football, according to ESPN's rankings, he's in the final year of his deal. Mm-hmm. Where do you put finding a new contract extension for Leonard Williams on the list of offseason priorities for the Seahawks?
Well, I mean, it's got to be huge because there's nobody like him. Really, when I think about the Seahawks defense, the first thing you think is versatility, and you have that with Devon Witherspoon. You have it with, you think, Nick Eamon-Warry, and I know everybody's excited about Nick Eamon-Warry, including me, but he still has to get it done. He has to take that second year jump and really come in and just kind of own his job. He was a rookie last year. So, he got hurt making the very first tackle he ever made in the NFL and was out for a few games. So, but, he came back strong. I mean, the Atlanta game where he blocks the kick, he gets an interception, he gets a sack. I mean, he was just all over the place. So it looks good for him too. But then the next guy, I think, as far as versatility, and I don't think a lot of people think about it this way, but Leonard Williams is as versatile as any player in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is 6'5", 310 pounds, and I'd say he's more like 6'6", and he's probably north of 310 pounds, and he can play anywhere on the line, anywhere. So, and that's why John went and got him, and it was such a great move during the the middle of the 2023 season. So. Yeah, and, you look at it, and it does scare you a little bit. He just turned 32. So, okay, yeah, the age is, father time is undefeated. We all know that. But, his as far as his snaps and everything, the last 2 years have been good. So, actually, the last 4. He missed 5 games back in 2022, but for the most part, he's been healthy. He just turned 32, and he's kind of one of those freak of nature type of players. So, I mean, I think he's really important because, and you're kind of talking about 3 different levels there. You've got, your defensive line, Leonard Williams, then, Nick Eamon-Warry basically can play like a linebacker. And I wouldn't be surprised if, like, later in his career, he beefs up a little bit and can play linebacker pretty consistently if he loses his speed. And then you got Devon Witherspoon. So, yeah, I mean, he is as important as those other 2 guys. I mean, I still would take Spoon first and probably Eamon-Warry second because of his, his youth. But, for as far as versatility and what Mike wants to get done with his defense, you have to have a guy like that that's got that versatility on the defensive line. And so, yeah, I mean, it's huge. But, I think, and I don't know how the salary cap works, all the details and everything. I just know that John typically finds a way to, be creative about paying him. And that Leonard Williams wants to be here. And I do think that you're going to get the benefit of a lot of, kind of like what Derek Hall did. That not that he's going to take, $5-10 million less to stay here, but I think that they'll work with the team for sure as far as the players go.
Well, there's a massive disparity between the top 2 defensive linemen in football and the rest. So Chris Jones and Jeffrey Simmons have 2 massive contracts. Outside of that, you're looking at an average annual value of $24 million for the next one. Chris Jones makes $35, Jeffrey Simmons a little over $33 per year. So now we're looking at, all right, the length might not be as long as those guys for Leonard Williams when it comes to a 5-year deal for Chris Jones, say he got with the Chiefs. But if you're talking about 2 to 3 years at $33 to $34 million a year, that's a lot of money committed to just 2 positions right now with JSN, the highest paid receiver in football. Leonard Williams probably up there, at least in that $30 million range. And then, of course, we know Devon Witherspoon, he needs a contract extension as well. You might be paying 3 guys in excess of $30-some million a year. You have to do it, though, right? It seems like that's the cost of winning a Super Bowl and having this talent. It does feel like Leonard Williams, with what he means to that defensive line and some age on the edges, I would do it 2 to 3 years, but it's just like, okay, where are you going to find ways to get the rest of this roster up to speed if you are shelling out that money for Williams?
Yeah, and you haven't even brought up, Sam Darnold yet, right?
I mean, I have a list that we haven't even gotten to here of guys like, so just this year, Dave, not even Darnold next year, but in addition to Williams, you have Charbonnet, Anthony Bradford, Jalen Sundell, and Uchenna. Contracts all expire this year.
Yeah.
And then Darnold, by the way, Julian Love and Ernest Jones after the 2027 season. It's a lot of extensions that are happening over these next couple of years.
Yeah, no question. And, you look at the Byron Murphy one, I mean, he might be just, he might be the priority.
And Byron Murphy, yeah.
Yeah, so, that's the thing that, you kind of feel like you're kicking the can down the road. I just putting a lot of faith in John Schneider, but when you start talking about these guys and, where the rubber meets the road, like Charbonnet, Bradford, Sundell, Uchenna, I mean, those guys are great players. They're part of this team. And, I remember Mike talked about Sundell being a guy that was very underrated during the season. He got better and better as the season went on. But, you're probably, I mean, if you're gonna keep all of those guys that you mentioned, that's going to be, there's going to be some casualties.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. But, again, John has drafted really well. And, we haven't even really talked about some of those guys from, like Mason Richmond. Maybe he is a guy that just really takes a huge jump this year. I saw something different out of him. But, that way you don't have to worry about Anthony Bradford. So, that's the other thing that I think is going to continue to happen, and I think they're going to get a lot out of their younger guys that are, transitioning from being a rookie to their second year, take a big jump there. And you're probably going to see, some of those guys sort of fall off this team.
Yeah. By the way, there's one more guy that's about to get paid in the near future we haven't mentioned yet, and he's in line for a big payday. We'll talk about that coming up. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
30 years ago,
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later,
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Kosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Dino was suffering from a rotator cuff tear in his right shoulder.
Part of the pain is like taking off my shirt. I couldn't even really button my pants. I could actually qualify for a shoulder replacement if I wanted to go that route.
He chose to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I heard the commercials for Dr. Wagner. I did my research. I thought about surgery, but the recovery time was so long, I didn't want to have to be in a sling. I want to be able to retire in a few months, get back to bike riding and playing golf without any pain in my shoulder.
Dino knew from experience that stem cell therapy works. Dr. Wagner had already helped him recover from osteoarthritis in his thumb, but he's not done yet.
And now 2 years later, I'm having an issue with my left shoulder, so I've got it scheduled, and I'm going to go back to see Dr. Wagner again because it was so successful.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
We share our used cars. So our used cars are open trade between any store. So the sales managers don't have a problem in saying, yes, that car's available, and then that person from Seattle can come to Kirkland, pick the car up and sell it. It's what's best for the customer at the end of the day.
The LJ way.
If the customer wants to be met in Seattle, then let's figure out how to get that car from Kirkland to Seattle so that customer can come in there and transact. When you're all one team and you've got a great relationship, the other team comes over and helps that team, and then you as the customer don't see any difference in that experience. You're still getting the same service that you want and expect.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Pat Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
11 days
until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS4KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now or call 877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Wyman and Bob.
from the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We got Jon Morosi joining us at 3 o'clock, and then Charlie Furbush in with us from 4 to 5. So a lot of baseball talk coming in then, but some more Seahawks to get to, Dave. By the time we got back to this, you and Bob were here last week. Then you were off. You know, we had a weekend and everything. There have been a few more of these top 10 lists. So ESPN, as they do every year now for the past few years, they've unveiled their top 10 at each position. So I guess I'm going to throw it to you. Where do you want to start? Which outrage should we go with? Quarterback, interior offensive lineman, or inside linebackers?
Which do you think I would choose, Mike?
Linebackers.
Okay, let's go ahead and do
All right. Well, that one is probably the most egregious. I believe it just came out today, or is one of the more recent ones. So the only two left are wide receiver and safety. So on the list of top 10 linebackers in the NFL, according to executives, coaches, and scouts, and compiled by ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, where do you think Ernest Jones lands?
He has to be top 10.
I would think so. I mean, he's an all-pro. He was the leader of this defense, kind of kept it all together, the vocal leader of this team that won the Super Bowl, had the best defense in the NFL. I would put him in the top 5, no worse than 5.
Yeah, 5 interceptions, runs the defense, doesn't miss tackles. Yeah, I don't.
Seems like a safe bet.
And here's the one. This is kind of annoying to me because this was the position I played. But I watched a fair amount of Carson Schlesinger, and he was a rookie last year at UCLA, a good player. But, I mean, he's at number 3. And, and I like Roquan Smith, who's at number 2. Fred Warner, I think, in general, just everybody pretty much. And I agree that that's probably your best inside linebacker. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, he's always a problem. But I like Zach Bond a lot, who came in at number 4. Jack Campbell, I don't think that he is as versatile as Ernest Jones. EJ is he's just a ball hawk. And, I mean, but I like Jack Campbell, okay. So I don't really have anything. I got a dirty little secret to tell you. I actually really love Azeez Al-Shaair. And I know a lot of people hate him because they think he's a target guy and all that stuff. And I know he got kicked out of a game and all that. But, yeah, I mean, I think he's really a good player. Somebody called him the Dennis Rodman of linebackers, if you remember Dennis Rodman, how he played.
So you've been scrolling down for a while. Do you want to tell the people where Ernest Jones ends up, or should we reveal it for them now?
He's not in the top 10.
He's not in the top 10. He's not even in the honorable mention category.
Yeah, it's that to me is ridiculous. You got Patrick Queen. And look, Patrick Queen is a very good, he's a playmaker. But I just don't think he has the other part of his game, which is being physical and making tackles. Remember, we talked to Ernest Jones. I was like, is it picking off a pass? Is it sacking a quarterback? He goes, I like making tackles. And that's what he does, man. And, once he got going, this defense started going. And that was 2 or 3 games after we traded for him, Mike's first year. So, yeah, I mean, it feels like he's been here forever, but a guy who an inside backer that can fill a gap, he can make tackles on the inside, and he also is a ball hawk and able to what was the one, I'm trying to remember who it was against, where he kind of stepped inside of a tight end. It was just such great coverage, and the quarterback tried to squeeze it in, and he just picked it off, and really just making the catch was impressive enough. But the way he played that, and you saw him do that a number of times. And one of them was against, I think he got a pick that very first week against San Francisco, but he had one thrown over his head. And they tried to come back and run that same thing in a similar zone drop, and he made the adjustment. So, he doesn't make mistakes twice. So that's the other thing. And I don't want to go through and, hatchet all of these other guys like Devin Lloyd, with the Panthers. And you look at Edgerrin Cooper, Nick Bolton. These are all the top 10 guys. Our guy, Jordan Brooks, who we drafted in the first round a couple of years ago. 2020. He was the 27th pick. He's in there. I don't see the same quality. I like the top 5. Other than the Schlesinger kid. I think he's good. I just don't think he earned it just yet. But not having Ernest Jones in there and the best defense arguably in the NFL, and that's your leader, yeah, that one is maybe the biggest snub I've seen.
Yeah, I was going to say, I should have known. Getting you started on linebackers, you have a lot to say. We haven't even talked about Darnold or Gray Zabel, who, by the way, Zabel is the guy who I think is going to have a big leap over the next few seasons. He comes in as honorable mention. We can get back to those two tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I went a little long on the
it's
linebacker.
Fine, because I think it's a good point that we can dive into more with this team and the fact that there was already this talk about, is this one of the most disrespected Super Bowl champions?
Right.
And you always think, all right, well, how is it possible that a team can find that same motivation after winning a Super Bowl? It's so challenging. You play longer than anyone else. You're exhausted. You've reached the mountaintop. How do you channel that same desire in the offseason when every other team is working harder because they've been working longer and they haven't won? Well, hey, look what's happened to the Seahawks. They've had to hear all this Rams talk. Mm-hmm. Then you hear a guy like Ernest Jones that we know things like this motivate him. He has to see this, or he knows, and rightfully so, he's among the best 5-ish linebackers in football, and he's not on this list.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, that chip on the shoulder is getting there. Not that they needed it, but if you ever needed a reason to say, well, hey, if I want to do that extra something, if I want to find the extra 5 minutes in the day, then maybe I had a good workout, I'm deciding to go home because I'm a Super Bowl champion. No, this is going to drive them maybe more so than perhaps any other team that we've seen in a long time. I know there have been so many conversations about when's the last time a Super Bowl champion was getting this dismissed.
Yeah.
And you look at something like that. Ernest Jones not even in the top 10.
I love it. And I know Mike, and real quick, because I know we're going to get to break, but I think that my advice was always let that chip on your shoulder just kind of stew a little bit. Don't talk about it. Don't, speak it. Just ignore it and let it motivate you. And I feel like that's going to be the message for Mike because, this is just kind of the last straw where you're like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Everybody's already crowned the Rams, and they're going to be the Super Bowl champions, and so I can see that. And like I said, a guy like Leonard Williams is like the nicest guy in the world, but that guy has an angry side to him, and I'm sure Ernest Jones does as well. So yeah, I actually love it. I'm complaining about it, but I think it's going to help him.
Well, this guy is always in our top 10 list. In fact, probably our top 5 list. Jon Morosi joins us next here on Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Back on February 8th, the countdown started at 167 days.
3, 2, 1.
Right after the clock showed zeros.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
Now we're less than 2 weeks away, 11 days, until Seahawks training camp begins.
We know that we're target number 1 now.
And nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of the Super Bowl champs, Seattle Sports.
It's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife. In my 6 years of working with Swedish Cyberknife, I've had the pleasure of speaking with several patients who offer a glowing endorsement of their prostate cancer treatment. One of them, Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host. He underwent the entire Swedish Cyberknife treatment for prostate cancer in just 1 week, Monday through Friday, with each session lasting less than an hour. He chose Swedish Cyberknife because it was only 5 days of treatment versus several months with other treatments. And on top of that, Swedish Cyberknife had by far the least interruption on his daily life. No surgery, no catheter, and the recovery was incredibly quick. Tim heard about the Cyberknife treatment from our radio commercials, just like you're hearing right now. So if you, a friend or a family member, is diagnosed with prostate cancer, schedule a consultation with Swedish Cyberknife at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Cyberknife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over there at People Come First Construction Group. You know I love my acronyms, PCF. They designed and built our outdoor living space for Molly and I, and we just loved it. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started on your new dream deck with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. You know, most people who start with a design package end up with the exact outdoor space they've always wanted and dreamed of. This offer is your first step. Do what we did and contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. With People Come First.
America's favorite car show returns to Puyallup. Cruise on out for the good guys' 38th Griot's Garage Pacific Northwest National. 3 huge days with over 3,000 classics from across the country. Check out the indoor car show and special areas. Fender Midway Automotive Swap Meet, live music, Saturday night twilight cruising, and more. July 24th through the 26th at the Washington State Fair Event Center. Details at good-guys.com.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated video only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Big Nation Station reminds parents the fatal crash rate for teens peaks at age 19, and we lose nearly 8 kids every day. Make a family agreement to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs, text behind the wheel, or ride with anyone who is. Always designate a sober driver, call a parent or rideshare, and let's bring our children home safely. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Big Nation Station. We've got a complete stock of beverages, snacks, hot food, and more, and wish all our kids a safe and successful future.
Did you know that 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state? I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide financial support for breast and gynecologic cancer patients in our community. Join us at Life in Color, a summer brunch, auction, and fashion show on August 23rd at the Somme Hotel in Woodinville for an unforgettable afternoon of inspiration. Get your tickets now for Life in Color on August 23rd at nwhopeandhealing.org. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the vote to approve the sale of the Seahawks will officially be on August 26th. The league needs 24 of the other 31 owners to vote yes, widely expected to be a formality, but that is the date of the sale. And Spain advances to the World Cup final. They beat France 2-0. England, Argentina in the other semifinal tomorrow at noon.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
I've never heard a person walk out of the stadium and say, wow, I wish that game would have included more waiting.
He is an endless source of baseball and hockey knowledge.
José Berríos, el lanzador de Puerto Rico en el Clásico Mundial de Béisbol.
Jon Morosi, every week with Wyman and Bob.
You're being serious with me right now?
Oh, we're serious. An all-star edition of Jon Morosi. Mike Lefko, Dave Wyman here with you on Wyman and Bob, along with a guy who, Dave, I believe we saw him walking down the red carpet with $1 million worth of chains and jewelry on him. Jon Morosi is here with us. How's it going, JP?
I'm doing great. I will have to confirm to you that was not me wearing a dollar bill sign, gold chain, not quite my style. And I'm actually not even physically at the All-Star game today, which is wonderful. I get to be a fan today and enjoy it from the comfort of home and watching. But I tell you what, the style that we see in the game now, which is wonderful. Back in the day, I'm old enough to remember, we didn't have a red carpet. It wasn't necessarily the glitz and glamour and status that we see nowadays. And by the way, I think what we have now is wonderful, promotes the game, the players, their personalities, their families, the fit, as I'm learning now as the father of a teenage daughter. So there are now parts of this that she will be more conversant in than I will be. So if you want the fashion analysis, we have to go to others in the Morosi family. But the baseball side of things, I am certainly thrilled to discuss here today.
Yeah, I mean, we sit here now and just say, couldn't pull that off. Couldn't pull that off. I think that's kind of what it's devolved into. But, JP, you mentioned getting to sit and be a fan and just watch this. What did you think about the home run derby last night, notably the change, reverting back to a swing or out format instead of the clock they've had in the past?
Loved it. I have to have full disclosure here. I am a fan of the pitch clock as it exists in the Major League game because, again, we do not want games that include more waiting.
Right.
But when you look at the way that the Home Run Derby goes, it's a short enough competition, and the essence of it, in my view, is that the tension builds when you do step away, and you have to, in some ways, I think it actually amps up the degree of difficulty as it did for Jordan Walker, where you have to then step back and marinate in each individual swing. It's almost like if you're a golfer, which I must admit I am not, to have to hit the ball true every single time with the pressure of having that little pregnant pause in between. Listen, Schwarber is great at it. Jordan Walker last night just a little bit better. And in my view, one of the great compliments that you can have in this sport is that you are booed on the road because they believe that you can beat or have beaten their team before. This now earns Jordan Walker boos in Philadelphia from now until the end of time. And that, my friends, is a profound sign of respect in all the best ways. So Schwarber may continue to be building his Hall of Fame resume, but last night stamped Jordan Walker as a legitimate Major League star and all-star. So full credit to him. His family was there enjoying it. I love the way the tension built. So remove the pitch timer from that event only. All the rest of the events, yes, have the timer. Please do. But for that event last night, it built the drama, the anticipation, and made for an even greater spectacle for this great game of ours.
Yeah, JP, they do the All-Star game right now. I think baseball lends itself to being, much more like a real game. I mean, I think, to me, if you ask me, the NFL is king, and it's my favorite sport and everything. But, when they had the Pro Bowl, it was ridiculous. I mean, nobody was hitting anyone, and it just, now there's like a flag football game and things like that. But, the baseball, they're the king I feel like, as far as, because in the NBA, the All-Star game, nobody plays any defense. Nobody wants to get hurt. But, yeah, I feel like, is there even a close second to the All-Star game, Major League Baseball All-Star game?
No. In a word, no. It is unique. It stands alone. I love it. And it's had different life cycles, if you will. Back in the 60s, 70s, when you rarely crossed leagues in terms of you were either an American League player or a National League player or an AL fan or an NL fan. And back at that time, and again, I'm old enough to remember this, at least as a kid, there were separate league offices. There was an American League office, a National League office. When there was disciplinary action, it was not handed out by the commissioner's office. It was National League president. American League president would issue the suspension if there was a brawl or a fight. That's how separate they were. And the All-Star game reflected that you had to beat the other league. Now, there was the period where this time it counts, and they brought it back to include home field advantage in the World Series. I never liked that, to be honest with you. I understood why it existed for a while. One of the more intriguing subplots for a while is that, as you probably remember, Ichiro would give this rousing speech that, if I'm being honest, as legends would have it, did not always include fully G-rated language about how the American League had to beat the National League. So there have been some stalwarts on either side that it really gave this great texture to the game, and I thought was honestly a big part of Ichiro's legacy. And we heard about it a lot last year around his Hall of Fame induction about how competitive he was. And obviously he never got to play in the World Series for the Mariners, but this was something that he did to really represent the American League. So I like it now that it's not so much a mean-spirited, deep rivalry about which league reigns supreme, but it is, in the best of cases, a true showcase of the athleticism, of the personalities that we've got in the game now. And I realize there's no Judge, there's no Ohtani this time around, which certainly takes a little bit away from it. I'm not going to lie or pretend that it doesn't, but it does now provide a platform for some of the bright young talents in the game. You look at Kevin McGonigal, who's from the Philly area, having this great rookie year in Detroit. Maybe this is his night to shine. Arozarena now loves the big moment. Of course, he's the only Mariner representative that we're going to see tonight. So there's a path and an opportunity for all players. You got Dylan Cease starting the All-Star game for the reigning American League champion Blue Jays. Of course, he didn't play for them last year, but it is his current manager and John Schneider giving him the honor. So everyone standing on that baseline has his own story of how he got there to be in uniform for this game. And I love that this showcase internationally is a chance for all of us to learn those stories and learn those backgrounds all at the same time. And so it doesn't have to be the mean-spirited 1970s era. It's just a great showcase for the game. And to Dave, your point, it is the truest sense of competition, more so than what you see from the NBA, the Pro Bowl, or even the NHL.
Yeah, good answer there. That was great. That was a very feel-good answer, JP. But now I want to kind of bring you down to something that hadn't felt great over this past week, and that was, well, the Mariners' offense, to be frank, and their results in the state of Florida until that final win on Sunday. But when we talk about this All-Star break, I kind of threw this out there as a broad question yesterday. I'm curious to get your perspective on it. Which Mariner do you think can benefit the most from this All-Star break?
I've got a lot of answers here, actually. I'll start it. Number one with Cal, it's been a mentally and physically grinding first half. Number two, Julio, because he ends the first half on the concussion IL and certainly very concerned about his well-being. Clearly, and if there was ever any doubt about the importance of Julio, we saw it in the games that he wasn't on the field for after the injury. This is not the same team when 44 is not in the lineup and productive. And Cal didn't have a Cal-like first half. Julio had his moments but ended it injured. We'll see about what this means for Hancock and how he does coming back. This has been a team that is limped to the All-Star break. This is a team that needed and still needs the All-Star break. Let's hope that Julio's back and healthy and ready to go by this weekend. But it's a team that with all the talk about the piggyback, the Matt Brash injury, the Julio injury, the Raleigh inconsistency, Naylor being inconsistent, this is a team that we have not seen the best of yet. And we saw a glimpse there. Again, I was there in person watching them play against the Angels. I thought they were really starting to get things put fully into the picture there. And Cole Young, what he's been able to do. And, again, you've seen moments from Colt Emerson. What are we going to expect from Donovan in the second half? So many question marks. A lot of them health-related. And so sometimes getting 4 days away will help you, especially when you limp to the end of the first half in the form that they did. So I'm still a believer in this team. I do not believe the Rangers are a better team than the Mariners. I believe that ultimately the second half is going to prove that about the Seattle Mariner ball club. But again, it's enough for us to talk about it before the All-Star game on Wyman and Bob and have a conversation about how we think the Mariners are the best team. Eventually, my friends, they've got to show it at T-Mobile consistently at 7 p.m. Pacific time in the second half, and that's going to have to start this weekend.
Hey, JP, you mentioned Brendan Donovan, and I don't know, there's just something, and, you know, I'm not asking you to pull out a crystal ball or anything, but, I mean, just the way that this has gone, it just has seemed like we're not going to get a healthy Brendan Donovan. I don't know, I'm being very pessimistic about it, but it just seems like over the years that the way that they talk about, you know, his update and where he is, and I don't know, to me, I think, number one, him getting healthy would be as good as you know, any trade you could probably make, and I don't know if you agree with that, but also I don't know, the longer it goes, the more I'm pessimistic about his return. Do you get that feeling?
I agree with everything that you just said, Dave. Every sense of everything you mentioned, I will co-sign it all, because when you really look back at it and why this team is below 500 at the All-Star break, why they're not in first place, why they've been a disappointment, let's also be honest about what they've dealt with. They have a roster that should be able to stay healthy, and they have not had a fully healthy team at any point this year. That's what I see with this group. And I share your concern about, in general, no matter what the sport is, I always go back and say, okay, bookmark the first time the manager or the coach or the GM or the head athletic trainer says, we expect to have an update by this date. We expect them to be back by this date. Mm-hmm. And then how long has it been since that date passed? And in the case of Donovan, it's been a real long time. And what I said earlier about why this is a lineup that's supposed to be healthy, this is not like an aged team where you'd say, oh my gosh, Giancarlo Stanton is on the IL again, or Anthony Rendon in recent years is on the IL again, or Mike Trout was on the IL again. Those are all predictable IL assignments. This is a team coming off of the ALCS last year with a durable Raleigh and a durable Naylor and what has been, to this point, a durable Donovan and a pretty durable Julio, that they've all been hurt at different times. That's not supposed to happen. And Matt Brash missed all that time. He was supposed to be healthy this year. Even Munoz has had some inconsistencies this year. It's a team that's supposed to be healthy and has not been healthy in a way that you can't really plan for it. And even when you have planned for it, let's say the way that Cole Young has played and Emerson has played, J.P. Crawford missed time and has then come back. So they performed, I think that in light of the injuries, they've performed decently well. But this is a very high rate of attrition among the position players, whereas the starting pitchers have been, by and large, quite healthy. Even this time, I looked this up before we began this conversation. The time since Julio went on the IL, they've had a losing record over that time, but they've still actually had a positive run differential because their pitching is so good, but they just haven't been able to line it all up. So inconsistent, injured, unfulfilled first half. They should be better. And if I'm going to be honest, I believe in their chance to turn it around more than I believe in the Blue Jays or the Tigers. Now, all of a sudden, here come the Red Sox out of nowhere, and what sense do we make of that? So there's still a future for this team, and I think it's a positive one. But, man, they have taken their sweet time in getting into the good run of form that we can actually dream on for the Seattle Mariners in the second half. Well, and, JP, everything you just mentioned about the position player injuries have kind of put Colt Emerson in the spotlight, where he's become an everyday player and he ascended onto the scene. But now, going back to about June 20th, running a 40% strikeout rate. He's got one extra base hit in that time frame. He had to sit out 2 of the final 3 days of the Rays series. I guess they're trying to, get him into a better mental spot. That's a lot to put on a young rookie. With all those injuries you talked about and maybe no relief coming, what do you think happens with Colt Emerson over these next couple of months here? It's a great question. I think first and foremost, you wait and see how he responds to the All-Star break. Hopefully some of that mental time away occurred during this week and is occurring, that he's got a couple more days to reset mentally. I believe he will. He's a tough kid. He's an Ohio kid, played football. He's got a really good foundation in terms of his mental makeup and his physical makeup athletically. But this is a real challenge. There's a reason why you so rarely see rookies step in and have consistent contributions without a dip in production for teams that are in it. It's really hard to do. Go back and look at what Cole Young did a year ago. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a smooth pathway for him in 2025. So I think what you're asking is a really important question. And wouldn't it be perfect if at some point later this month, Donovan comes back, JP can play shortstop, and then Emerson becomes more of a complimentary player. Maybe even goes back to the minor leagues for a while and gets regular at-bats and rebuilds some confidence. he's not supposed to be the guy you're relying on. And in fairness to Dan Wilson and everybody with the Mariners, they've had Emerson batting in the lower part of the lineup, which is what they should be doing, and they've done it. So I'm good with that. This is not his record to be accountable for. It's not his team to save. They've got other players that should be doing that, and by and large, it hasn't happened. This is not Colt Emerson's 2026 Seattle Mariners. He is, by definition, a complimentary player. I believe he will be that, and it'll be a lot easier for him if Cal Raleigh comes back and starts hitting the ball into the second deck. Colt Emerson's assignment becomes a lot easier.
Hey, JP, any All-Star game memories that stand out to you over the years?
It's a great question. I got to cover the first one I covered was in my hometown in Detroit in 2005. And so that for me, and again, Ichiro played in that game. So that was a special one for me. I got to see in 2011, another one that I really treasure, Albert Pujols there as a Cardinal. Stan Musial was still with us at the time. And so honoring Stan Musial in that All-Star game, hearing the ovation for Stan, those are the moments that really stand out to me as being really treasured. The All-Star game for me is a time to represent the history of the game, to hear how the legends in that city are honored and revered. And the way that Junior was honored in Seattle was also perfect. But in terms of those that I watched that one on TV, I have to have full disclosure, but the ones that I saw in person, the Ichiro one in 2005 in my hometown of Detroit, and the way that Pudge was honored that year in Detroit was awesome. But something about St. Louis, the baseball town, 2011, really stands out to me.
That is cool. Yeah. Well, JP, good luck you're traveling somewhere, right? Is that what you're on the way to do?
I am traveling. This is a family road trip kind of a year, which is awesome. I get to spend some time with my wife and our 3 girls, and then eventually I get to get some time along the East Coast, and I'll be calling in for my trade deadline dispatches as I work my way along the Eastern Seaboard.
Perfect. Well, great stuff. Enjoy that. I can't believe I'm bringing this up because we're a very non-soccer crowd here, but do you have a quick thought on what we have seen, I guess, since the U.S. was eliminated and now Spain getting to the finals here?
I got to tell you, stunned by the result today. My brother lived for 3 years in Spain, and so his kids are real supporters of the Spanish national team. And I'd been saying all along, sort of advanced condolences, like France is not going to lose to anybody. Get ready. Shows you what I know, because 2-0 to Spain today. Tomorrow, I have no idea what to expect. I think Argentina are the better side overall. But again, England, they have not had a major trophy win since 1966. They are overdue, and wouldn't it be a story if England were to win? So in some ways, it's a sentimental result if England were to win. Not so much for my niece and nephew, but I tend to think that Spain now are the favorites, which is probably good advice for all of us to take that into context. It has been a World Cup of surprises, and maybe the English have one big surprise waiting for us all.
Well, there you go. Master of all sports conversations, Jon Morosi. Enjoy the travels. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the insight on the All-Star game. And yes, I know Bob and all of us will have plenty of trade deadline questions for you over the next few weeks here.
Can't wait. Look forward to next week. I'll have a lot of thoughts for you on the trade market post All-Star game next week.
All right. Thanks,
JP. Enjoy.
All the best.
There's our guy.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
There's our guy, Jon Morosi. So it's funny that Charlie and I yesterday, we were talking about potential trade deadline acquisitions, and then lo and behold, Charlie kind of mentioned Jordan Walker, and he wins the home run derby. So was going to bring it up to Jon Morosi. It would have taken a lot to probably get Jordan Walker, but we can do that eventually over the next couple weeks here because, hey, the trade deadline still a few weeks away, August 3rd. But Dave, we are going to stay kind of all-star game adjacent, I guess, or kind of stay along that tangent because the all-star game's in Philly, the home run derby, you mentioned how funny it was about the booing. I felt bad. Okay, I don't know if you saw before that, who was it in the semifinals that was facing Schwarber? He got booed too, booed kind of mercilessly. there. And then, yes, Jordan Walker kept getting booed. Clutch performance there. We'll see if El Hombre was one of those guys who booed Kyle Schwarber as well, or maybe he's about to go boo Derek Jeter because the All-Star Game's taking place at 5 o'clock. We'll turn you over to it right here on Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports App. But El Hombre comes up next here. It's Wyman and Bob, Mike Lefko and Dave Wyman here with you. Seattle Sports and Seattle Sports App.
30 years ago,
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later,
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Kosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Bob Stelton here, and if you've had LASIK or EVO ICL to get out of those glasses and contacts, you know how freeing it was. I had LASIK, but when I got older, I started to need reading glasses to see my phone or a restaurant menu. That's when I went to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange, and it was a game changer. If you'd like to rid yourself from all glasses, including readers and bifocals, learn about K2 Vision RLE at their free live webinar this Thursday at noon. It's a perfect opportunity to meet Doctors Kopstein and King and have them answer your questions about K2 Vision RLE, like how is RLE different from LASIK and EVO ICL? Why won't I get cataracts after RLE? How does the light adjustable lens work? And lots more. The light adjustable lens is the premier technology for those who have had LASIK and now want to get rid of reading glasses. Plus, never get a cataract. K2 Vision has done more light adjustable lens procedures than anybody else in the country. Join the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The countdown is on.
11 days.
Until Seahawks training camp on the home of the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue, Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
On BritBox, there is a place where stories twist like cobblestone roads, grand manners hide secrets, and stakes are higher than seaside cliffs. Find places worth getting lost in on BritBox. Watch new series like The Other Bennett Sister from the world of Jane Austen and A Woman of Substance starring Golden Globe winner Brenda Blethyn. If you want to get away, you're in the right place. Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Free trial at BritBox.com.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Yeah, you know what you can get me, Pee-wee? What? El Hombre. That was a catastrophe.
I know.
That's a new low. Roz is better. El Hombre. The natural meets Rudy meets... I don't even know how to describe it. El Hombre.
Well, the right day, but a little bit earlier time. We're done at 5 o'clock. We'll turn you over to the All-Star game coming up here on Seattle Sports. So alongside me and Dave, El Hombre joins us now. Michael, we were wondering... were you in the crowd last night amongst those booing Jordan Walker?
No, we sold our tickets. We have great seats for the world champion Phillies, but we decided to make a killing on our All-Star game and Home Run Derby seats. But rest assured, were I there, I would have booed everybody. Let's put it this way. I was at the Futures game on Sunday, the minor league All-Star game, and when they announced the umpires for the game, I booed them.
Did you boo any of the future guys? Just the random other minor leaguers?
The American leaguers and the Mets, yeah.
Okay. Wow, you were booing some future Mariners there. Okay, well, at least you stayed true.
Not that much.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're going to boo. And people realize it. It's a tribute. It means we care enough about you that we're actually going to put some effort into it. So it's not the worst thing in the world to get booed.
Yeah.
You know, every year, El Hombre, I get more excited about the All-Star game just because of all of the sports, and we talked about this with Jon Morosi as well, but, you know, it's the best All-Star game, right? I mean, you know,
no question.
Football's terrible. Hockey, I'm not so sure, but, you know, NBA, nobody plays any defense, so I mean, I think it's a legit baseball game that I never miss. You agree?
And I agree 100%. You know, guys aren't going to run into walls or anything in order to make catches. But look, you're going to have, if Mizorowski pitches tomorrow, he's going over 100. And if you're up to bat, you don't look like an idiot. You got to be up there ready to go. Yeah. You know, these guys take batting practice. They're probably in the tunnel hitting, taking some swings before they come up and hit. The pitchers are only get an inning. So, you know, they're going to throw anywhere between 10 and 20 pitches. So, you know, they're going to try to throw their best stuff. This is a game, unlike football where you can get your brains beaten in or get a serious injury when you're playing full on, or basketball, same sort of thing. And, of course, hockey, you get a puck to the mouth. All of a sudden you're spitting out your teeth. This is a real game as much as it can be. And you're right, it's the best one. I hope the players are wearing their own uniforms and not some stupid generic uniforms that the league came up with that stink in an effort to, you know, sell jerseys. But this is a fun game to watch.
I do hate that. Now I just got reminded of that. It used to be so cool. You had all the different splashes of colors, and you'd see all these teams standing next to each other. Now it's just some generic-looking hat with the logo on it. That's the only way you know what team they were on. That has been a big downgrade.
Yeah, and I remember going to the '76 All-Star game when I was 14, and one of the really coolest things was that they introduced every player on both teams. You didn't watch American League games when you were in a National League team in 1976. You only saw your team, and they only played National League teams. And so to see the Chicago White Sox in all blue and the Cleveland Indians in all blue, it was just cool. It was very cool to see it. So I'm hoping that they wear their uniforms tonight.
Hey, Kyle Schwarber, I saw him. I was watching MLB Network, and they were doing the red carpet thing, and he comes down the red carpet and does an interview. He's got his beautiful wife there with him and his kids and everything. He seems like maybe one of the favorites there in Philadelphia. Is he? Tell us about him.
Yeah. Look, the guy's infallible in terms of the fans, right? He hit almost 60 home runs last year.
Yeah.
He goes on binges where it seems like every pitch he sees he hits over the wall. He is somebody who is, by all accounts, from all of his stops before Philadelphia, a tremendous teammate. He is very generous with the media. He's got a sense of humor, which is great. And it's funny now. When Harper was signed, he was the guy. Smart enough to wear Philly Fanatic cleats and headbands and all that stuff. I'll tell you what. When Schwarber's up to bat, when Schwarber gets announced, he gets bigger cheers now.
Wow. So what did you think along those lines? A lot of people seem to love the change away from the clock last night, the home run derby. Is that positive for you? Do you want to keep it like that? Anything else you would alter with the derby format?
May I be honest?
Yeah.
I didn't watch a pitch.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. Schwarber almost won.
Whoopee. Oh, boy.
Okay,
That's
so you're
almost as good as winning the World Series. Wee-haw, yay.
Not a Derby fan. Okay.
I don't care. It's not that I'm not a Derby fan. It's played out. It's why I don't watch the dunk contest anymore. There's very few dunks left if someone can do. I'm still waiting for someone to run toward the basket, jump up in the air, do a front flip, and then dunk. That happens, I'm going to say, okay, that's the dunk. But now I'm going to jump over 7 preschoolers. Who cares?
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you a question. This is, I was kind of pissed off earlier today because, they're doing, all of the position groups for the Seahawks. And I don't know how much you watched Ernest Jones, but he's one of the best inside linebackers in the NFL, and he got snubbed as far as a top 10 list. He wasn't even in the top 14. So do you kind of get that? Because I think Seahawk fans here are kind of feeling disrespected. Everything is about the Rams and that they're going to be, Super Bowl favorites and this and that. Do you kind of get that, or are you like, who cares? You won the Super Bowl. What are you pissed about? It seems like that's going on, but I don't know. I'm too close to it.
When you first said that you were angry today, I was worried that they'd run out of pudding in the station cafeteria. But okay, now that I see what it's
pudding,
who
eats pudding anymore?
He probably doesn't have that many teeth left from his NFL days. So, I understand that this time of year, these things are done to generate interest at a point when really there isn't a whole lot going on, right? Hockey's quiet. The NFL doesn't have training camp for another week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They're trying to prime the pump, okay? Again, it's nice. I want all of the Eagles to be rated very poorly so that they get angry and play harder to try to show everybody that they're better than they are. Jalen Hurts was rated the 17th best quarterback. And it's interesting. Somebody was talking about it, and they said when they look at these ratings, they look at them from a point of view of, do you scare the defense? Right now, Hurts doesn't. He doesn't run like he used to. He doesn't throw the ball as often. The person who scares you if you're a defensive coach with the Eagles is Saquon Barkley. A lot of times, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. The Seahawks had a great year. The Seahawks have a great team. But not everybody is paying attention to their individual players. They don't see them as much. Their games are on later. They're playing in I've said this before about the Mariners, the Pacific Northwest. A lot of people are not as, top of mind with their players. So it's entirely possible that he got hosed, and now it's his job to go out there and make 157 tackles and next year be second.
Well, Michael, one thing the Seahawks also have now is a new ownership group. That news broke over the weekend, the absurd $9.6 billion price tag. But
wow.
Yeah. So with something like that, you make an investment like that, I think everyone's worried that, hey, this group's going to come in and want to put their stamp on it, make some changes, things like that. What do you think stands out about what a good owner needs to do with an NFL franchise?
A good owner should understand two things. Number one, he is a steward of a civic property. As much as the ownership's name is on the front door, this is the Seattle franchise, and the people of Seattle take this team, the Mariners, even the Kraken, right? And if the Supersonics ever come back, they take them as their own. And you have to understand that. You serve them, you're going to make a ton of money. Your franchise is going to appreciate by 10% every year. If you need to take a loan out of $1 billion, no bank's going to decline you because you have a $9 billion or $9+ billion asset you're sitting on. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you are not going to become, the kind of filthy rich that you can become from other business dealings with the Seahawks. So your goal should be to win. Mm-hmm. You should be trying to win. You should hire people who will help you win. I can't imagine there's anything better than walking into the annual owners meeting, having just won the Super Bowl, and looking at all those other fat, rich, you-know-whats, and being able to say, hey, boys, how's second place look? So those are the two things you should do. Understand that you are keeping a property for the city and its environment, its surrounding areas, and two, go out and win. Do everything you can to win.
Yeah. All right. Well, Michael, a little shorter this week, but we appreciate you moving up the time back to the normal time, and we'll catch up with you next week.
So long, suckers.
There it is. El Hombre. Quick in and out. He's got some people to boo. Not the home run derby, I guess. Was not a home run derby fan, but he'll go boo.
It's almost like a cheer now, right? Like if you don't get booed in Philadelphia, then
like you said, it's a sign of respect almost, right? Exactly. So, all right, there was El Hombre. He'll be back in the normal time, Tuesday, 5 o'clock next week. But we have to get to some things where we turn you over to the All-Star game at 5, including why there's a new dimension to the Seahawks-Rams rivalry. We'll hear about that when we sweep the dial. It's Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Back on February 8th, the countdown started at 167 days.
3, 2, 1.
Right after the clock showed zeros.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
Now we're less than 2 weeks away. 11 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
We know that we're target number 1 now.
And nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of the Super Bowl champs, Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Harley Exteriors, and if you're like me, you're spending nights on the patio listening to the game and enjoying what makes our area so beautiful. And I have right now just the offer for you to get the most out of your outdoor living space. $500 off each window, $750 off patio and entry doors, and $200 off the final project. And I've loved working with Harley Exteriors. They're a local company right here in Bothell. Down-to-earth people who enjoy the same things we all do, rooting on your local teams and doing the best job we possibly can day in and day out. Use Harley Exteriors to complete your home space and receive 12 or 18-month promotional financing. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval and lender terms. Minimum purchase of 4 qualifying windows required. Windows must be 36 by 36 inches or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to approved credit. Offers cannot be combined with other promotions. Offer expires July 31st, 2026.
A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King.
50 seasons, 50 legends, one unforgettable night. Join the Mariners Saturday, August 8th for 50 season celebration night at T-Mobile Park, presented by Daktronics.
The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
Before the team takes on the Rays, arrive early for the most epic pregame ceremony in Mariners history. You'll witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed. From Griffey to the big unit, from Ichiro to Nelson Cruz, and every legend in between, you don't want to miss this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Junior with a 2-run home run. Everybody is going bonkers here in the Kingdom.
Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000. Use code CLEAR to borrow up to $10,000.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and summer's here at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can check out upcoming shows like the Pop 2000 Tour with Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC, O-Town, Ryan Cabrera, and LFO on August 1st, or relive the 80s with pop sensation Taylor Dane on September 6th. You can find tickets at snocasino.com and the full lineup, plus experience luxury with breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and play your favorite games. Elevate your next getaway. That's Seattle's closest, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
11 days
until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Get away from it all and discover a place where good times are guaranteed. But I'm letting you know, at Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining at the steakhouse. Catch your favorite sports on wall-to-wall screens and sink into pure relaxation at the spa. Tee it up at Loomis Trail for championship-caliber golf where there's water everywhere, so you better hit them straight. And you can hear your favorite musicians live at the event center. Visit silverreefcasino.com and book your stay today. That's silverreefcasino.com. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Cascade Machinery and Electric, family-owned in the Pacific Northwest, industrial machinery expert for over 100 years, is hiring outside sales representatives in Alaska, Washington, and Oregon. If you're an experienced seller of industrial equipment, highly motivated, and can manage your own territory, this role is for you. The salary is competitive, commission uncapped, and benefits are great. Visit cascade-machinery.com/careers and apply today. Cascade Machinery and Electric, powering the Pacific Northwest since 1918.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The sounds of summer. They're great until they're not. Luckily, AutoZone has free battery testing and charging
Let me check that for you.
to help make a rough moment smooth. Don't miss the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone. Free products with select deals until July 27th. And free services every day. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Dave, we have a couple of Seahawk Rams-related items, including this from Gray Zabel on the Green Light with Chris Long podcast. They're talking about the impact of Myles Garrett to the Rams and a couple of things, and then he kind of asked about the Seahawks-Rams dynamic, and Gray Zabel had an interesting comment about that.
I hate the Rams, but I love the Rams because it is mano-a-mano, best on best. They know us well, we know them well. You're just sitting there and you're just trying to win every single rep, but when they're calling out plays, we can tell what they're doing based off their defensive scheme. It's fun football. That's why you play the game, to play teams like that.
You know, that kid, first of all, I really appreciate that it's kind of taken off the whole rivalry with the Rams, because it's really good to hate people. It really is. And it was kind of that way with, Niners. Harbaugh and Colin Kaepernick. Yeah. So
Crabtree.
That part is very cool. Sherm, certainly a big part of that. But Gray Zabel is just one of the most mature players. I mean, he sounds like a 10-year vet, just the way that he talks about things, just the way he understands the league, what to say, what not to say, everything. He's going to be such a great leader on this offensive line for so long. But I can't believe that was his rookie year last year.
Yeah.
I really can't. Just the way he played, like I said, just very, very mature. And, I can't wait to see what he's going to be, because, he had such a good rookie year. And remember, he got hurt in that first game at the Rams when we played them down there. And he said something to the effect of, I have my whole life to be a baby. He didn't use that word.
No.
And that's when, he was like, I'm playing. And, he really went on and played very well after that injury. You didn't see the effects of that, but what a great asset and what a great pick by John Schneider.
Sweeping the dial.
Well, this is an unfortunate new wrinkle to this rivalry, is that Aaron Donald has been seen working out at the Rams facility. And Peter Schrager, ESPN reporter, covers the NFL, national reporter for them. He was on the Pat McAfee show talking about what this means in terms of Aaron Donald and a potential return to the Rams.
Aaron Donald is not going to come back as some 30-cent on the dollar version of Aaron Donald. He wants to be ready. That's why that workout was going on. He wants to be fully where he was when he retired 2 years ago. He wants to be the best version of himself. When I tell you, they haven't even discussed money yet. So that's the secondary part of this. The first part is, does Aaron Donald want to come back? Is he prepared to come back? Is he ready to come back? The Rams would welcome him with open arms, obviously, if the numbers worked out. But this is not going to be one of those deals where it's like week 2, week 3, week 4. No. He wants to go the full season if he comes back, and he wants to be at his best version of himself. So that's why these workouts are happening. I think he's figuring it out himself. Training camp starts in a week. I would imagine we would have more information by then.
Yeah, I heard Bump and Stacy talking about this, and that, maybe he's going to kind of ramp up in the next few months here, and maybe he won't play till later in the season. Doesn't really matter to us. I mean, if he can help him win some games, if he's missing the first, half of the season. But we don't play the Rams till the very end. We play them 2 out of 3 weeks. And, he's going to be ready by then if he's going to play, right?
That's what's terrifying.
Yeah, so that you'd kind of like to see one of those games where it's the first few weeks, but I don't know. I don't know how he looks like he's in such great shape, and we went through that with Phillip Rivers this year, where a lot of those balls that he threw were really wobbly, but he got it done, but totally different position. But that's going to be one of the more interesting things. I know it's the Rams, and you don't want him to do well, but if he's able to do this, I wonder if there'll be other guys maybe thinking about coming out of retirement, because what did he play? 9-10 years, I think?
Yeah, it was at least 9.
Yeah, and it just seemed like he kind of retired a little bit prematurely.
Oh, he's only 35. That's what was crazy to me. I was like, he must be older than that. We know how good shape he stays in, and the fact that you could still kind of use him as a rotational piece, that's kind of terrifying to think about. And you're right, I think that's the key right there, is that he played 10 years, it says. The key is that he could ramp up until maybe you just need him for a month, and that month is the final month of the regular season, and then you have the playoffs, and unfortunately those matchups come at the very end of the year.
Well, and I remember talking to Ray Robertson. He was saying how he would look at the schedule, because he was a left tackle, obviously, and he's like, okay, I get Leslie O'Neal, who was a really good pass rusher for the Chargers at the time. I got Derek Thomas. I'm going to face him twice a year. But now you're looking at this D-line that, Kobe Turner is a really good player. And he's maybe, if Aaron Donald comes back, going to be the 3rd best defensive line on that defense. So, that's going to be a very interesting kind of little side story. I'm very curious to see, because it's one thing to have a quarterback come back, and you're going to take some hits and you worry about him being fragile or whatever, but Aaron Donald's down there in the thick of it, man. I mean, you're getting hit every single play, and we always talk about getting in football shape. There's only one way to get in football shape. You got to play. You got to play football. I mean, you're going to get a sore neck. You're going to get banged up shoulders, all of that. So, I don't know. I mean, part of me is kind of rooting for him because I like to see the older players, do well and be rewarded. But he's a Ram, Mike.
Sweeping the dial.
Well, Dave, I know you can relate to this. Odell Beckham on the Pivot podcast is explaining why, a pro football player just can't live on $100 million.
I always explain this to people like, bro, you give somebody a 5-year, $100 million contract, right? What is it really? It's 5 years for 60. You're getting taxed. Do the math. That's 12 a year, that you have to spend, use, save, invest. Flaunt, like whatever, however, just being real. I'm gonna buy a car, I'm gonna give my mama a house, I'm gonna do, everything costs money. So if you spending $4 million a year, that's really $40 million over 5 years, 8 a year, And now you start breaking down the numbers, it's like, that's a 5-year span of where you're getting $8 million. Can you make that last forever? And you always hear the people who ain't us and ain't been in the position, like, oh, well, that would last a lifetime. Yeah, this job that I've sacrificed my whole life for, they are giving me that. I didn't ask for the certain dollar amount or whatever, but we weren't taught about no financial literacy and all the way. We weren't talk about it all the time. We weren't taught this skill.
Well, the NFL tries to do that. They have like a rookie symposium, and when I was a financial advisor, I did a presentation for the Seahawks, and I can't remember there's a guy named Todd Weiner that I got as a client, a guy named Brian Habib, because I was trying to, tell guys exactly that. But come on, man, when you have that much money,
you got to flaunt $4 million, Dave.
Yeah, you got to, what do you say, flaunt?
Flaunt, yeah. You got to flaunt.
I mean, yeah, and buy some appreciating assets, not depreciating assets like jewelry and cars. Buy real estate. Real estate is as solid as the devil. Yeah. And put it in blue chip stocks. I mean, come on.
All right, well.
What are you doing?
I figured you'd have a strong opinion on that. Let's see. Another professional athlete's about to walk in here. We'll see if Charlie Furbush could live on $100 million or if he would flaunt it too much.
Oh, you know how Charlie's got the gold chains and everything.
He would just be doubling up on the gold chains. So I don't know. We'll see what Charlie thinks about that and his thoughts on that home run derby and some Mariners-related items as well. He joins us next here, Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Those in the know that you can't miss Blue 88 with Brock Heward.
Owners in general and how they make their money and how they run their team. What did you learn as you took a deep dive?
Yeah, it's kind of all over the board. I can't tell you that Arthur Blank is a better owner because he started Home Depot. There's just not a direct through line.
We're not saying you'll get dumber if you're not listening, but you ain't getting any smarter if you miss it. Get Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Fast Water Heater has spent the last 40 years becoming Seattle's go-to at one position, hot water. Dave Wyman here, and I always talk about how important depth at every position can be. At Fast Home Services, they've gone out and built depth at every other spot in your home's lineup, adding HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. That's Fast Home Services, now applying that same level of care to your whole home. Call 1-800-THINK-FAST to book your free in-home estimate or visit fasthomeservices.com for a virtual quote in seconds across water heaters, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical services.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
This is Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. As a family law attorney, I know firsthand the challenges and obstacles men face in divorce and custody matters. Our firm is committed to protecting what matters most, and we're on your team. Find us at goldbergjones.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different.
TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Cool cars, cool people, good tires. It's the Good Guys 38th Griots Garage Pacific Northwest Nationals, a giant car show featuring over 3,000 of the Northwest's finest hot rods, muscle cars, classic trucks, and more. Enjoy live music, a free family fun zone featuring the Auto World model car Make and Take, and earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest and more. Happening July 24th through the 26th at the Washington State Fair Event Center in Puyallup. Details at good-guys.com.
Bob Stelton here, and if you've had LASIK or EVO ICL to get out of those glasses and contacts, you know how freeing it was. I had LASIK, but when I got older, I started to need reading glasses to see my phone or a restaurant menu. That's when I went to K2 Vision for a refractive lens exchange, and it was a game changer. If you'd like to rid yourself from all glasses, including readers and bifocals, learn about K2 Vision RLE at their free live webinar this Thursday at noon. It's a perfect opportunity to meet Doctors Kopstein and King and have them answer your questions about K2 Vision RLE, like how is RLE different from LASIK and EVO ICL? Why won't I get cataracts after RLE? How does the light adjustable lens work? And lots more. The light adjustable lens is the premier technology for those who have had LASIK and now want to get rid of reading glasses. Plus, never get a cataract. K2 Vision has done more light adjustable lens procedures than anybody else in the country. Join the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
When it comes to my policy, Farmers gives it to me straight, so there's no surprises.
It's your coverage. You should never be confused.
You hear that? An insurance provider with a conscience.
We're a choir, but yes, we have that too.
Straightforward coverage you can literally understand. That's what you get when
you have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or Affiliate. Products not available in every state.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
We're going to turn you over to the All-Star Game coming up at the top of the hour. Christopher Sanchez and Dylan Cease, your All-Star Game starters. You can hear that right here on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. And some news earlier today that the vote to approve the sale of the Seahawks will officially be on August 26th. Indeed, 24 of the other 31 voters have to vote yes to officially approve that sale. And Spain advances to the World Cup final, beating France 2-0. They'll take on the winner of England-Argentina in the other semifinal. That's tomorrow at noon.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Mike Lefko, Dave Wyman, and Charlie Furbush is back in that familiar spot. Bringing in the lefty again.
Yeah.
There he is, Dave.
The left-handed pitcher.
Yeah, he's a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Rollins-Smith. That's right.
You were there for that one. You were like looking at me like...
I thought you were joking.
Yeah.
I know.
I was like, no way, you don't know this.
Ryan's such a nice guy. He said that it was a compliment to him. And he tried to explain it, but I still was like, how do I not know? And then while Mike and I were talking about it, I looked up, and right in front of my desk is a picture of him pitching, left-handed. Yeah. So, yeah, I was like, wait, am I looking at a mirror here? Wait, what's going on? No.
Well, Charlie, welcome back. Dave felt a little left out. He was busy being a celebrity and digital influencer, all of that. So bringing him back, bringing everyone back. Dave's a digital influencer now.
There's something on the hot water or the cold water machine with the ice and everything. Called me a digital influencer.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Are you offended?
Well, no, I just don't know what it means. How am I offended if I don't even know what it means?
I mean, when you think Dave Wyman, text in if you think digital influencer, 866-979-3776.
Yeah, you influence digitally. That's you.
Yeah,
right?
never been called that before.
Yeah. Well.
So we're dealing with that. But Charlie, welcome back. Yesterday, we were talking about the home run derby that was coming up as our show ended, and you were mentioning, hey, curious to see how the new format would play out. Well, we got it. We got some drama. What did you think about the new format?
Oh, it was so good. It was so much better than the old format. And honestly, watching the whole event, I just was sitting here being like, I almost feel bad. I'll bring it back. I almost feel bad for Julio Rodriguez, right? A guy that dominated the Derby year after year, but turned into a stamina competition.
Right.
And I felt like he has that perfect swing, that short, quick to the ball, really powerful swing, and he would have, I think, thrived in this format. But unfortunately, it didn't work out in the past few years. But this new format, I mean, it was so exciting, and I think it brought glimpses back to what it used to be like, and then the finish at the end between Schwarber and Walker was just like nuts and so much fun to watch. So I know there's a lot of good reception, and I think it is an improvement from what it has been in the past.
Well, here was the final call of it, and then we'll kind of dive into a little bit more. But Jordan Walker, down to his final swings, needing to hit a home run on every single swing, did that. Here's the call of him tying and then beating Schwarber.
One more to tie, 2 to win it. We are tied. Jordan Walker can upend the whole thing with a home run right here. Is that enough? Jordan Walker wins it! One of the craziest home run derbies of all time. A homer on each of his last 6 swings.
This guy's crushing it, man. I mean, I haven't really paid that much attention to him, but 22 home runs, he's batting .294.
Well, you've been influencing digitally so much.
That's why. Oh, I'm never going to hear the end of that one. 74 RBI. I mean, this guy is.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
You know what was cool about that? I think the urgency did build. People were worried that you could just get into a situation where you're going to take so many pitches that it would kind of grind to a halt. You're waiting for that perfect pitch, and then early on. So the 20 swing item, I was a little curious about. Hey, that could take a while. Maybe on swing 2, someone doesn't want to screw up and miss a couple of swings, so they just wait. And you have 5 pitches, 6 pitches. All right, there's one swing. They take 5 more pitches. No, that didn't really happen. Walker, it kind of built up to it. He was doing that at the end, but it was do or die. And so for 6 straight swings, that's a tough thing to say, 6 straight swings, I couldn't even say 3 words correctly at the same time. He comes up here 6 straight times, hits a home run where any miss wouldn't have given them that title. In a hostile environment like that, where, everyone was booing him, it added to the element of urgency. His parents are there just kind of staring him down like, hey, you got this, buddy. Like, we're the only ones rooting for you in this crowd. But for him to get that done, I mean, that's one of the more clutch performances I've seen in baseball in a while. Regular season stakes, of course. But.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so much fun about the home run derby, and it can bring out these cool, unique moments where guys have to hit a home run in the clutch. And Walker it really looked like he didn't have a chance to win it. I mean, Schwarber comes out in the last round and just hits, 11 homers or something, right? Was it?
Yeah.
11?
11 out of 15 swings,
right.
Too.
And it was just, and that, not to mention, like, that, this was probably the first home run derby where if you weren't a Philly, everyone was booing you. Yeah. Like, it was so weird but funny to see, and entertaining for that matter, that every time someone that wasn't a Philly hit a home run, everyone got booed. It was like, oh, yay, here we go, or, excited. It was so fun. So,
you ever get booed in Philadelphia?
Oh, worst fans in the league, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Wear it with a badge of honor, right?
This was, they crossed lines, without a doubt. So.
I remember the Manning brothers were talking about that, and when they played in Philadelphia, and I think Eli said to Peyton, you should have heard what they were saying about Mom.
But didn't he
so
did the
true.
middle fingers, but he was on camera, and they're like, uh-oh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But he held up the middle finger. So.
I don't know. What do you think? You think Philly's is the worst?
God, I'm trying to remember, in
your experience.
You know what? Honestly, I think Kansas City is where I had the worst fans. And I have to admit, I did get into it with a few of the fans that were by the tunnel coming out where we were coming out.
They got you?
Yeah, and I was letting them have it a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, and then in that game, I got hurt and had to be hauled off the field on a cart, and we went right past all of those fans.
Oh, no.
And they were like, I hope you die.
Oh,
I mean, it was... Yeah, and I was like, yeah, okay, I deserved that. That probably wasn't a good idea.
Is that frowned upon to do they tell you not to interact with fans in those situations?
I mean, I don't know that. Yeah, I mean that was maybe once or maybe twice, but mainly you just ignore them.
Gotcha.
For sure. But yeah, my last game in the NFL was in Oakland, and I had gotten kicked out of the game that we played Oakland earlier in the season, and then that was my last game, and then they announced the starting lineup on the defense, and so I got booed that entire stadium pretty much. But yeah, I mean that's typically it doesn't really happen in the NFL. You have a helmet on and shoulder pads, so it's not like you're easily recognizable.
Yeah. Well, so what provoked? What did the fans say that said I'm gonna talk back to this guy right now?
Oh,
do you remember?
No, they were just, it was just, there were so many people screaming things. I couldn't hear any specific things other than, I hope you die, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's lovely.
Thought that was a little bit personal.
Yeah, I think
a little bit, yeah.
And little they know you'd become such an important influencer. But I think
that's enough.
No, we got it wrong, Matt. I think we got it wrong. It's not digital influencer. Joe in Bellevue points out that I think Dave is a digit influencer because he's broken so many fingers.
Ah, okay. I'll take that.
There it is. Yeah.
That I know about.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So we talked about the home run derby, All-Star game today. Dave and I were talking with Jon Morosi about how this one, it's the coolest All-Star game because the format is it's an approximation of what you see day to day in baseball. There's no exhibition game, as Dave mentioned, there's no defense in the NBA. The Pro Bowl is just such a joke. It's kind of collapsed. So on that vein, what are you guys looking forward to seeing? Only one Mariner in it. There are no Mariners pitchers. It's just a Rosarena. Yeah. Who knows how long he'll play because he sub guys in all the time. So with not really a distinct Mariners interest, what are you looking forward to seeing? Is it access? Is it just all the stars together? When you sit down tonight and watch, or you go back and pay attention to it, what is it that you want to see?
It's fun to, sit back and see the midway point throughout the season. And, I think for a lot of ways, I'll go home and I just want to see the action because I think it's a fun environment where essentially the best baseball players in the world are getting together and playing a game. Now, I think, what I'll say is this just is more of recent and than it has maybe when I was coming up and definitely beforehand. I think you're seeing more and more, which I get in some capacity, but I also am like, man, you're in the All-Star game. You're going to say no? But there are a handful of players that are saying I don't want to be in the All-Star game. I want to rest, and like Julio did last year. And obviously, at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning for your team. So I respect that and I get that. But I think there is some sentiment out there that's like, well, that may be your last All-Star game. So go have fun. Like this is a moment in a memory. Obviously, you don't want to hurt yourself and put yourself in harm's way, but this will be a moment in memory you'll remember forever. And like it's not just. I think initially it just feels like it's for the player, but I'm sure Dave it's for your family, it's for your friend, it's like for everyone in your entire community network environment that can all celebrate you. So I think that's what's a little tough is that when, guys that get voted in or deserve to be in and say no, it can present a predicament, if you will.
Yeah. Hey, how concerned are you about Emerson Hancock? You've probably taken one off the hand a couple of times in your career.
Caught every one of them.
Huh?
I caught every one of them.
You did?
Barehanded? Yes.
Yeah. You're not supposed
I
to
didn't
do
use
that,
a
by the
glove,
way.
actually, Dave. I just pitched barehanded.
Well, they always tell pitchers, like, oh, why would you put, your pitching hand up there? Well, it happens like that. So you're not, thinking logically, oh, I better use this hand instead of that one, right?
Right.
So, but
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your level of concern?
I am not concerned at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, not concerned at all. I think this is just, like you said, it's a reaction thing. It happens. You get ball hit back at you, and you're taught to let it go, right? Just let it go. But when it gets into that comfort zone, when you really feel like you can almost make a play on it, that's when it's hard to say no, hard to not take action. And whether Hancock thought he could get the ball or not, it's generally on the arm side, just let it go. If it's glove side, you can maybe have a little more action because you can kind of catch it and whatnot. But
yeah,
it's always said, you don't want to break a finger or whatever. So it's actually really fortunate that it got him in the palm, and he's ultimately X-rays are negative. So I think it's just making sure that the swelling gets out and he's able to use all of his pitches, because the fastball may be the pitch that's kind of unaffected, but his bread and butter and a pitch that he's going to have to rely on is that sweeper. And if that's in any sort of issue or question, then I would imagine they're going to, delay anything that they can to try and give him the best chance to get back on the horse and be healthy once the second half starts. But, yeah, not concerned at all. Just an unfortunate situation that pitchers find themselves in. And, if you got 10 of them in a row at you, you're probably going for at least 3 or 4 of them. It's just hard not to.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing that came out of this today centered around the All-Star game and how it's going to look kind of different in 2 years. The Olympics. The MLB players want to play in the Olympics. There are some holdups right now. They're trying to get some things ironed out with the LA organizing committee. But in 2028, if MLB players play in the Olympics, there will be an 11-day break between the final game of the first half and then the start of the second half. My question to you guys, everyone listening, is that good? For everyone else that's not playing in the Olympics, how does that disrupt someone if they now have 11 days off all of a sudden in the middle of a season?
Yeah, I think it's interesting how it's evolved, where baseball used to be in the Olympics, and now obviously with the World Baseball Classic, and that's kind of dominated. There's always been that talk of, will the Olympics come back? Will this cause any issues? And I think, generally speaking, the players are like, well, every 4 years, you just take the break. It's not like it's an every year type of thing. So, and I think as athletes that are at the top of their craft, you get a chance to wear a jersey for your country and represent your country. It is something special and doesn't happen very often. So I think when you look at baseball, it almost would present another version. If everyone were able to, go play in the Olympics and play a legit tournament, it would be kind of fun to watch, because you'd have Team USA being one of the more premier teams. And the biggest issue that it will lie is that how health is involved, right? Because I think these teams are like, well, we're paying you all this money to play for our team.
Mm-hmm.
We're not paying you to play for the country, right? So
Right.
if there's an injury that you sustain and it is more long-term to your success for that team, then, that's kind of the pushback. But I think generally the players would love to play in the Olympics. I think they'd love to have a chance to earn a gold medal when historically it hasn't been available to them.
Yeah. It's just, we saw how disruptive the WBC was this year for, I assume not just Mariners, but we have been very aware of it because of Cal's struggles and then the injury and everything else. And just to throw the Olympics in there, I can't help but think, look, if you're in the middle of a division race like this, the Mariners are below 500, and then they have a couple guys who go off to play in the Olympics, how's that going to go over? It's tough because, you're right. You don't want to keep a player from going to achieve his dream, but also, hey, this very important season is playing out, and you might not be doing well, and we need you to find a way to start playing better.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, but I do think that, the return on everyone's investment would be worth it. I understand that maybe there's issues and things that may arise, but I think we've all seen how much fun the World Baseball Classic is, and it would feel that it would be just as good. The Olympics would be just as good as that tournament. And in one way, I would argue that it would be better because it would be midseason. Guys would be in tune. Their bodies would be ready to play in this tournament where, the World Baseball Classic happens and it's like, all right, go, start it up, get the engine started, skip spring training. We saw what happened with Cal, obviously, and trying to get the engine started quicker than you normally would. So maybe the Olympics would actually offer a situation where you would be ready to go. You would feel like it would just feel like 3-4 more series, right? And before you know it, you're back in the season and you'll be fine and good to go. But yeah, if everyone got on board, I would love it. Wouldn't you love to get an Olympic medal?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up watching the kids. I remember in when I was a kid, 1972, when the U.S. hockey team got screwed, and the Russians, beat. I mean, we
basketball,
were,
right?
Huh? I'm sorry, basketball.
Yeah.
Basketball. Yeah. Why did I say hockey? I don't know. We didn't get screwed in hockey.
I know. I was like, wait a second.
No. No, but I mean, I remember thinking that was like the biggest deal in the world. But the NFL wasn't really what it is now.
Right.
So. Yeah, I don't know that, and again, the cool thing about baseball and why the All-Star Game is cool and the Home Run Derby is that you're just really not that much risk of getting hurt, right?
Overall, yeah,
for the most part. So yeah, and then football's just so totally different that you get
one play
somebody's going to get hurt in pretty much every game.
Yeah.
Well, what if flag football? That's becoming a thing, and some NFL guys now want to be on a flag football team for this 2028 Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, as a fan and broadcaster now, how would you feel about Seahawks going in it? And as a player, if you would have had the chance to play in the Olympics, they're like, Wyman, you're the linebacker. I don't know if you have linebackers in flag football, but if you could have played in the Olympics, flag football, is that something you would have done?
Yeah, I mean, I think back then, but I mean, okay, well, here's an example. JSN just signs a $168 million deal. Do you want to risk in any way, shape, or form him pulling a hamstring or, getting a knee injury or something like that? I mean, it's just gotten much, I think it's much more important, the NFL and the Super Bowl than the Olympics.
To your point, athletes are making more money than ever, right? Like they are being paid more money than ever, and they're being paid to play and be healthy and be on the field. So it does bring a level of concern that there could be an injury risk, right? And I think that's the inevitable challenge, is like where the injuries lie and if it's going to hurt someone in the long run. And you don't want to, get hurt. But it does bring up a cool thing, because I think the Olympics are they'll forever be, kind of the pedestal of competition in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jordan Walker.
Hey.
Convince you even more?
My bad.
Yeah. Charlie predicted it.
Oh, did you?
Well, we were kind of talking at the end. We're like, all right, head versus heart. You're like, Schwarber, obvious pick, right? If you want the sentimental favorite to win. And then Charlie kind of found his way to Jordan Walker.
I mean, I didn't really find it. I was pretty set on it, before we talked about it.
You knew it was going to happen.
I was trying to sway him to Schwarber, I think. Well, so you settled in on Jordan Walker.
To the Julio point I said earlier, obviously Schwarber, I thought, was going to win it. I really felt like it. He has the swing. He's been in the competition before. He's at home. All the things lined up for him to do it. All the home runs he's hit this year. But the way I look at it, and I look at hitters, and I'm like, who has the swing that's able to be short, quick to the ball, and very powerful without max effort? Mm-hmm. And I think that as you look around of guys that were taking hacks last night, Junior Caminero, he takes hacks. Right? Big hacks. Contreras, he was taking hacks, hitting a 480, 490, just absolute tanks. And I felt like, for whatever reason, and I remember seeing this when the Mariners played St. Louis, and I've kind of just been paying attention to the league as I do, Jordan Walker has taken such a big step in his career this year, and I think everyone's now seeing how good he can be. But I looked at him, and I felt like the swing just wasn't out of control. And I think that's part of what needs to happen in the Home Run Derby is like just find the same pitcher, throw it in the same area, also, which is great. I'm glad that the pitcher's not involved in this competition anymore, because it's so stupid.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing yesterday. He kept going.
I couldn't believe it. Well, that's the point that the Home Run Derby the pitcher should never be in part of this competition. And the last, 8, 9, 10 years, whatever it's been, we've been watching it and been like, all right, well, if the pitcher's not throwing strikes, then it's not the hitter's fault, right? But why is he part of this competition? Like, you know what I mean? Like he shouldn't be factoring into
shouldn't
this.
Be a factor, yeah.
So that's what I was like, all up on, yesterday. But I think when it comes to the short, powerful swings, and knowing that it's going to take a lot of them, those are the swings that I think are the most efficient and good enough swings to win the competition. So that's why I picked Jordan Walker. So, it wasn't just out of left field or right field, man. I've been watching this guy.
Out of right field. Do you want him as a trade guy now? Remember you threw that out
know,
there as
I
a
did.
big swing, but it's going to require a lot.
Right.
In talking about making a big pitch.
100%. And he's a young guy. He's controllable, former first-round draft pick. Obviously, he's got the pop, and he's right-handed, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if there is a deal to be made, but at the end of the day, how he projects long-term is this, I think you'd want to almost see it not just this year, but next year to feel confident in his full skill set, because he kind of struggled out the gate when he first came up to the big leagues. But I think he could be a guy that would be worth kicking the tires on and saying, well, the Mariners need right-handed bat, and he checks all the boxes, and he has team control. So you have all these things going for you. But, yeah, of course, you're going to have to give up a huge haul, probably a top prospect, probably a starting pitcher or someone off your roster. But does the return on your investment give you the player you need?
Yeah. Well, Charlie, that's one question we had for you. We have a few more questions for you as well. Charlie Furbush sitting in with us here on Wyman and Bob. A question I'll throw out to the listeners as well. What's the biggest question for you about the Mariners heading into the second half? You can weigh in on that. We'll get Charlie's thoughts, Dave's thoughts on it as well. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Back on February 8th, the countdown started at 167 days.
3, 2, 1.
Right after the clock showed zeros.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
Now we're less than 2 weeks away. 11 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
We know that we're target number 1 now.
And nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of the Super Bowl champs, Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I've trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a very long time, so I know injuries happen. But when Emma tore her ACL on the mat, it was bad.
I typically have a pretty high pain tolerance. I gave birth 6 times with no pain meds at all, but this felt like a 10 or 20, really.
She was evaluated by an orthopedic surgeon.
He also told me that surgery was the only thing that I could do.
Instead, she came to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy, the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures.
I can do everything normally. I train, I spar.
Pain level at a 0?
Yes.
So you recommend it?
Yes, actually, I asked him if it was okay for me to take copies of his pamphlet, so as soon as somebody gets injured, I can just hand them a copy.
So whether it's a hip like I had or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, whatever it is, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
When you order a ride from a rideshare company, do you know what you're getting? Big rideshare companies have been caught failing to protect passengers from dangerous drivers and not supporting drivers and passengers after an accident, all to protect their profits. That's why if you've been injured in a rideshare vehicle, you need Davis Law Group to protect you. Their in-house team of investigators and legal staff has a successful track record of taking on rideshare companies, and they've won millions. Visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change presents Wisdom from the Road.
Summer means wide open spaces and a whole lot of extra miles. The last place you want your engine to give out is halfway to nowhere. Out here, low oil or a weak battery is just an ambush waiting to happen. That's why every oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change includes an 18-point maintenance check. These techs are trained to help spot issues early and keep your riding easy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Change wisely.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. I thought, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
The countdown is on.
11 days.
Until Seahawks training camp on the home of the Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, to get 30, to get 20, 20, 20, to get 20, 20, to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month. Sold!
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and summer's here at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can check out upcoming shows like the Pop 2000 Tour with Chris Kirkpatrick of NSYNC, O-Town, Ryan Cabrera, and LFO on August 1st. Or relive the 80s with pop sensation Taylor Dane on September 6th. You can find tickets at snocasino.com and the full lineup, plus experience luxury with breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and play your favorite games. Elevate your next getaway. That's Seattle's closest, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host, underwent Swedish cyberknife treatment for prostate cancer. What's it like to go through the cyberknife treatment?
You do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital. They say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It was just too easy.
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate.
Cyberknife is a registered trademark of Accuray Incorporated and is used with permission. This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, a number of questions as we sit here at the All-Star break. When will the Mariners finally get healthy? What will the pitching look like? What does it mean for Wyman to be a digital influencer? All of those that have just kind of popped up today. 866-979-3776. You can chime in as well. Yes.
What does it mean for us to learn from
that's true.
the digital influencer? Teach us the ways. We haven't earned that status yet.
Yeah, what courses are you offering in digital influencing?
At least I'm not a YouTube influencer.
Yeah, that's true. That's part of it.
That's part of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's part of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's under the umbrella.
You didn't even know you're a YouTube influencer, but you are. So we're all learning every day.
Should I go give Patty the what for? You know? Nicest lady in the world. I think she wrote it. But anyway, yeah. You guys are having fun with it, so
it's all about honesty around here. We're just calling it like we see it, Wyman.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
We see you on the.
I see you two ganging up on me. Is what I see. Actually, 3. There's 3 of you.
I mean, first day back. We got to get you back in here.
Yeah,
it could be way worse. We could be ganging up on you about something else.
That's true.
Right. So welcome back.
Yeah. How about this? 425. The Mariners are a bleep team. Come on, give me a break.
Is that a question? Because we asked for questions. So,
Yeah,
you kind of missed.
He's making a
here.
statement.
Yeah. We asked for the biggest questions you have going into the second half. I guess that's a statement. But there are some of those questions, honestly, we're seeing come in about, hey, look, does Castillo or another starter get moved to the pen? What happens at the trade deadline? For you guys, Charlie, I guess you can go first. You're the guest here. When you look at, or you can defer to Wyman, or I can go and answer my own question. When you look at this team coming out of the break on Friday, what's your biggest question for this final push of the season?
It's a good question. The biggest question I would say for me is the offense collectively going to kind of come together, right? I think that there's been just peaks and valleys, and there's been some good games and bad games, and it just feels like, can the offense collectively find a way to get to that place where they need to be and that they can score runs regularly? And I think if they get there, they're going to be an incredibly dangerous team. And I think that's what we've said all year, is that they have the pieces of the puzzle, but you just got to put the puzzle together, right? You know what I mean? And you got to figure out how it all works. But I think if you can have the offense come together and figure out ways to manufacture runs and do little things and have that sense of urgency like we talked about yesterday, and making sure that you're in every at-bat and having good two-strike approach, I just think that can be the biggest catalyst to the second half, taking the team where they want to go, and it will give me all the confidence when I see that.
Yeah, when you look at, like, it's funny that what we talk about the most is the pitching, or I should say complain about the most. And the pitching is really good, and that's the reason why you have the six-man rotation and the piggyback thing. And it's, I don't know if that's just a hangover because we're always, talking about how, and they've been good as far as pitching goes, and it's homegrown and all of that. But yeah, the offensive part of it, I guess my answer would be, I just think, and I hate to put pressure on him, but like Cal has to get going. I think he is such a spark for this team. And, you look at in this month, he's hitting 200, a little bit better, incrementally moving up. But still, I don't know. It just seems like, when he was rolling last year, the team was rolling. And, again, hate putting all that pressure on him because he's doing a great job behind the plate and with the rotation and all that, all the relievers. But, yeah, I just he just has to be – he has to sort of ascend to be what he was, not exactly what he was last year, because that's not going to happen. But, he needs to, turn it around. And again, I hate putting pressure on him, but I just feel like he's the spark plug on this team.
Yeah, I like what you two brought up. I think there are a number of potential answers and questions that you could come up with here. One that I'll throw in, I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on, is that we've talked so much about what does this team look like when Brendan Donovan comes back, or Matt Brash. Oh, look what that does to the lineup. Matt Brash, huge impact arm. They definitely need this high-leverage reliever. But what if they're not able to make an impact? You're dealing with two guys now who have had multiple injuries this season, recurring injury that they re-aggravated. I think that might be too much to put it on them of, look, Brendan Donovan's going to come back in, mid to end of August, Matt Brash around the same time. All of a sudden, are they just going to be able to step back in and make an impact? I wonder if you have to build kind of some redundancy in case that maybe Brendan Donovan doesn't come back. There's that extra bat we're talking about. Or Matt Brash, in talking about the need to get at least one or two bullpen arms, you need someone else outside of that. When Brash comes back, there's an additional bullpen arm to help you.
Yeah, I agree completely with the statement of having to put that amount of pressure on Donovan and Brash to be perfect, right? You just got hurt twice this year. Guess what? We expect you to be not hurt and 100%. And it's well, that's a lot to ask, especially if you haven't played in a while. So you're right. There could be some sort of lack of performance just due to, I haven't played in a while. So I think you definitely have to factor that in terms of maybe filling a gap or two in that sense. So I think from the bullpen side of things, it is without a doubt there is a game or two I can go back and look at and go, wow, if we had Matt Brash, this would change everything, right? And I think that he does when the lineup or when the bullpen isn't, fully firing on all cylinders and you're down a guy like that, it's pretty evident when you need him. And I think that there are times where if you're able to get somebody that kind of replaces him and then he comes back and he doesn't have to have that full pressure, right? That would make him even better, right? And not have to be like, oh, we got to pitch you every night. So, and these guys want to get out there and get it done. But I think if you can look at getting a guy that bridges that gap or just overall makes your bullpen better, you're going to shorten games and ultimately win more.
Yeah, the Julio question as well, we kind of talked about it. Which version are you getting? I'd throw that out there as a question. Where Julio in May, 10 home runs. Julio in June, no power. He was getting hits, he was getting on base, but just the power disappeared. And now dealing with a concussion, Dave, I know you've talked about it, how concussions can kind of linger and they affect everyone differently. We hope and assume he'll be fine. The expectation is he'll be there in the lineup on Friday. But it's not a guarantee that you're going to get a version of Julio right away that is just going to come, step back in, and be that second-half guy that we've seen in the past.
I don't know. I think it's more likely than, in a way, Brash or Donovan. I think he presents such a a level of skill that is hard to ignore. So it feels like once he's back, you see it instantaneously, and I think it's just a matter of the day in, day out execution. But a guy who I would almost feel more expectation to come back and completely be the guy right when the team needs him, right? And I think we talked about this on the couple post games, how evident it was without him in the lineup.
Yeah.
The offense doesn't look or feel as dangerous, and knowing that you can kind of navigate Cal or navigate Randy or navigate Naylor and just let the rest of the team maybe challenge you, not having to face Julio certainly is a lot easier than having to face him 4 times a game.
Yeah, well, pitching becomes the big question as well. We've kind of stayed away from that because I think it deserves its own separate topic. We have the surplus of pitching. It's only going to grow with one addition, presumably Kade Anderson at some point. So we'll get into how they all mesh together coming up here. One final segment before we turn you over to the All-Star game coming up at 5 o'clock. Mike Lefko, Charlie Furbush, Dave Wyman here with you. Wyman and Bob on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
30 years ago.
I wanted to be part of keeping the Seahawks in Seattle long term.
3 decades later,
12, they're bringing the trophy home.
2 Super Bowl championship banners hang in the stadium Paul Allen built. Now, a new era of stewardship begins.
Most things that seem impossible become possible.
And we welcome the Kosla family to Seattle. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Hey, what if I told you a local credit union is giving members up to $30 per month just to make everyday purchases? It's Dave Wyman here, and when I heard about the offer from Harborstone Credit Union, I said, sign me up, and that's what I did at harborstone.com/cash. And, I'm not super tech savvy, not like Lefko, but opening a checking account was easy enough for me to figure out, and you can figure it out. I got my PNW cashback checking account for free. No fees or minimums, and when I make everyday purchases with my Harborstone PNW cashback debit card, I earn up to $30 each month. My wife loves it when I get cash back on gas, groceries, coffee, travel, and lunch. All categories count toward your cash back, and you can even tap to pay. I figured that out, too. Hey, if you live, work, or worship in the state of Washington, sign up for a membership with Harborstone Credit Union and get the PNW Cashback free checking account. Open your free account online like I did at harborstone.com/cash, or you can visit one of their 29 branches across the Northwest. Insured by NCUA, terms and conditions apply.
Dealing with divorce and custody issues can be terrifying and very lonely, but you don't need to face it alone. Goldberg Jones has been helping Northwest husbands and fathers for more than 30 years. Thousands of men have put their trust in us. You can too. Learn more at goldbergjones.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
At Farmers, our honesty is contagious.
Wait, am I going to catch honesty?
Well, when you're with Farmers, it's kind of inevitable.
Well, how long does it take to... I lied to you when you asked if I knew what a deductible was. I don't know my dad's birthday, and I thought umbrella policies were for rainstorms. Actual rainstorms. I have it, don't I?
You don't just have honesty.
You have Farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Learn more at farmers.com. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
11 days.
Until training camp for the Super Bowl champs. And nobody has it covered like the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change presents wisdom from the road.
Summer means wide open spaces and a whole lot of extra miles. The last place you want your engine to give out is halfway to nowhere. Out here, low oil or a weak battery is just an ambush waiting to happen. That's why every oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change includes an 18-point maintenance check. These techs are trained to help spot issues early and keep you riding easy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Change wisely.
Les Schwab Tires has been proudly serving communities for over 70 years, and we've collected thousands of inspiring stories. Like Kate, who was off on a long road trip with her best friend when the dash lit up like a game show. They find the nearest Les Schwab. Turns out they really needed an oil change. It was done in a flash. Road trip saved. At Les Schwab, we're proud to keep you rolling. Les Schwab Tires. Our greatest story is yours. Stories are composites inspired by real customer feedback.
How sweet it is! 50 seasons of moments. 50 seasons of legends. A once-in-a-lifetime event. Join Mariners past and present at T-Mobile Park August 7th through 9th for 50 Season Celebration Weekend. The festivities begin Friday with a post-game slugfest, the Alumni Home Run Derby featuring Ichiro and other former Mariners sluggers, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Saturday will be a showstopper. 50 Season Celebration Night presented by Daktronics. Arrive early to witness the biggest gathering of franchise icons ever assembled as the 50 greatest Mariners from across all 5 decades are revealed. It just continues. The weekend wraps up on Sunday with a collectible 50 Seasons pin giveaway thanks to KeyBank. Seats are going fast. Get yours at mariners.com/tickets.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Mike Lefko, Charlie Furbush, Dave Wyman here with you for a few more minutes. We're answering all the questions of the world, solving all the problems, as we usually do. Dave, I don't know if you knew this, but Charlie and I, when we fill in, we solve every issue. So we're going to...
Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to lump you into
It's like a big therapy
session.
session? Is that what kind of advice were you giving out?
I don't know. It's so good. It just kind of flows and we forget it. Just
How about
come up with
this?
something else.
Just suck it up, okay?
That works.
How about that?
I have my piece of advice usually is it could always be worse.
There you go.
You know? Like
right.
in a lot of ways, right? Like you could be, dealing with something unfortunate, and I hope everyone's hanging in there, but perspective goes a long ways, right?
There you
And I learned this as a young kid that no matter what you're dealing with, maybe it is the worst, but I like to think it could always be worse.
Yeah.
All right. So in the case of the
I'm
Mariners...
not sure if that's like cheering me up or not.
I don't know. Is it? Yeah. Maybe it's something you already knew.
I'm like, what's coming down the pike here?
Dave did not like that advice.
What am I about to, what's going to happen to me here that's worse?
Huh.
That's where my mind goes.
Well, then Charlie's advice would be don't have your mind go there. Just appreciate where you are.
Just hang out with us more, and you'll feel better.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So in this case, things that actually they're not going poorly for the Mariners. They're going well, extremely well. The starting pitching, but in a strange way, it's made for this issue that's lingered over the entire season. And now you add another wrinkle to it because Kade Anderson at some point will be up, right? I think we've come to the agreement that Kade Anderson this year will be pitching for the Mariners. The question becomes, what capacity, where do you bring him up, and then who does that affect? So if you're looking at how you kind of bring Kade Anderson into the mix here, how do you fold him in, knowing that it's going to affect some place or some person when he does come up?
I think initially right now the Mariners are trying to build up his inning count, right, and like get him as many innings as he can in pro ball and see how he adjusts to that. And, obviously the performance is insane right now. Like some of the best minor league pitching that you'll ever see, across the board, just pure dominance. And it's so nice that, the Mariners have him and he's going to be in the big leagues sooner than later. And how that looks this year will still, I think, it's hard to predict, but it feels like once he kind of hits a little threshold and the Mariners see, because right now, I mean, it's pretty obvious he can help your team win, right?
Yeah.
Like at least it seems that way. And I know there's like that maybe learning curve in the beginning, but he's got the stuff, he's got the poise, he's got everything you think you need to be a high-level starting pitcher. And I think at this point, whether he comes up for, at this point, it doesn't seem like a spot start because there's not enough, spots in the rotation unless a move gets made. But he could be a guy that comes up in, probably post-deadline, maybe September, and gets those, I don't know, multiple inning appearances if you can. But they want to do the best to give Kade the best chance to succeed. And as a guy that's been a starting pitcher, his whole career, maybe he does get a start in September, and it does give somebody else a break when they need it. Throwing as many innings as you throw each year and trying to stay healthy and feel good through all those, that's a challenge. And the Mariners dealt with, health on the pitching side of things last year. And right now they've been kind of doing a pretty good job withstanding it all. But if there's a way to bring a guy up that's going to help you win, I just think at some point or another, he's too good to be pitching against the minor leagues, and you just want to see him in the big league level. And, yeah, there are implications of starting your service time clock and other things of when he reaches free agency. But at the end of the day, knowing, let's add to this, the trade deadline may not be that great. It could be no one wants to get rid of guys, but could you use him as a guy that's not necessarily trade deadline, but a guy that's going to add to your roster and make your team better? I think it's worth considering, and he continues to check every single box. And I don't know about you guys, but it's like, what more can you do
for Kade? Yeah, where he's at. I was going to ask you. We were just talking about a guy who I think in all the years I've been watching the Seahawks, maybe one of the best rookies ever, Lofa Tatupu. Lofa, like the way just his knowledge of the game and everything was just ridiculous. And he was talking about things that I, talked about in like my 6th, 7th year, how he looks at offenses. And he was like in the offensive coordinator's head on the other sideline. I mean, he just, but, I'm just, the other one, the two guys this year, Eamon Wari and Gray Zabel, are probably a pretty close second. But as far as what you're seeing from Kade Anderson, like where does he rank when like Logan was coming up or, Bryce Miller or whatever? Are you seeing like things that are even better with Kade Anderson? Is he that level or?
It's the numbers say yes, right? But I think when you look a little deeper with Logan specifically, he had the upper 90s, high octane heater where Kade isn't necessarily hitting 100. So yeah, maybe a guy that comes to mind that, obviously wasn't, when I came up, a guy that came up that was just incredibly good and he ended up becoming an incredible big leaguer was Steven Strasburg. And he was just lighting it up. And like, it was like, it almost feels like right now, in a way, you're pitching against college hitters or high school hitters. Like you're pitching so well, these guys have no chance. So I think the other thing that's going on is the Mariners probably want to see, because I hate to say it, but it's like I'm sure they want to see a little struggle to see how he bounces back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's been so good for so long.
So he hasn't even had that.
Maybe he needs get kicked out of the 3rd inning and say, well, how do you feel? How do you handle it? And I'm sure that's, going to be fine. If you talk to him and understand where he's at mentally, that's one of his biggest strengths is his ability to withstand it all between the ears. So, it's just going to be really interesting to watch. But he's definitely one of the top, if not best prospects that the minor leagues have ever seen.
So we just have a couple minutes left, but until the trade deadline, I know, yeah, we could keep going on, but then no one would be listening because we wouldn't be on air. I'm sorry, only about 90 seconds left. So very quickly, Charlie, you think until the trade deadline, we're still looking at 6 starters going forward until August 3rd when I know for sure this is on the roster?
I think that after the deadline, it feels like you're going to go back to a 5-man rotation. Mm-hmm. Like a move will be made, something will happen, it'll all work itself out, and if you then it allows you to bring up Kade more effectively or Sloan if that is a play. So, yeah, I would imagine that things look different in the deadline, and the Mariners go on a run here after the break and win some series and put yourself in a better position. Then why not make a move and see if you can go win this thing?
Yeah, I said, Dave, yesterday, I'd want to see the piggyback one more time. Charlie was like, nah, that's not going to happen. So we'll see. I think it would be a lot to acclimate here quickly for about 3 weeks and then maybe have to go and scrap it to do something completely different. But it does seem like nothing definitively will happen until the post-trade deadline scenario where you might have fewer pitchers on the roster. You might have the same amount of starters on the roster as you do now. So we'll find that out for sure. But, yeah, Charlie, thanks. Flew by, man. Yeah, you were here. An hour. Just bang. You're done. Yeah, get out of here.
I'm so sad it's over.
I know. You and Dave can go digitally influence after this show ends. But our thanks to Charlie Furbush, who joined us, Jon Morosi, who joined us as well, and El Hombre. A lot of fun getting into some Seahawks discussion. We'll get back to tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week. I think Matt Hasselbeck going to join us tomorrow. And many other great Seahawks guests coming your way. So Dave and I tomorrow and Thursday as well. Bob is back on Friday. Until then, enjoy the All-Star game coming up next here on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Back on February 8th, the countdown started at 167 days.
3, 2, 1.
Right after the clock showed zeros.
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
Now we're less than 2 weeks away. 11 days until Seahawks training camp begins.
We know that we're target number 1 now.
And nobody covers Seahawks training camp like the home of the Super Bowl champs, Seattle Sports.
Bob Stelton here, and if you've had LASIK or EVO ICL to get out of those glasses and contacts, you know how freeing it was. I had LASIK, but when I got older, I started to need reading glasses to see my phone or a restaurant menu. That's when I went to K2 Vision for a refractive lens exchange, and it was a game changer. If you'd like to rid yourself from all glasses, including readers and bifocals, learn about K2 Vision RLE at their free live webinar this Thursday at noon. It's a perfect opportunity to meet Doctors Kopstein and King and have them answer your questions about K2 Vision RLE, like how is RLE different from LASIK and EVO ICL? Why won't I get cataracts after RLE? How does the light adjustable lens work? And lots more. The light adjustable lens is the premier technology for those who have had LASIK and now want to get rid of reading glasses. Plus, never get a cataract. K2 Vision has done more light adjustable lens procedures than anybody else in the country. Join the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Puget Sound, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the 4 walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Need your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free. Come in, have fun. Muckleshoot.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Come in, have fun. Muckleshoot.
Jane is a small business owner.
That's right.
And tell them what that's like, Jane.
Yeah, well, it's like a roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs, and some days things can feel like they're flying off the rails.
Yep, it's a lot. But the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business can help you manage it all. With the largest, fastest fiber-powered network designed for 100% reliability with business internet and wireless connect. Plus gig speeds with security and equipment included. All with a 5-year price lock.
Nice. So everything stays on track.
Exactly. The Total Solutions Advantage. Get started for just $60 a month for 12 months when you add wireless connect to a qualifying internet package. No one does business like Comcast Business.
Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and automatic payments with bank account required. $60 offer requires 300 meg internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
That what matters are those specific matchups, right? When you have the batter in the box looking out at the pitcher, and he's trying to beat the pitcher in that moment. No matter what we want to say about who should start, who should not start, when you have a pitcher facing a batter, they're always going to try to beat them, and that is part of what makes baseball so great, mono versus mono.
Well said. That's Buster Olney. Buster, always appreciate the insight.
Thanks, Jim.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the 2026 Major League Baseball All-Star Game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Coming up next on Baseball Tonight, AL starting lineups, and we'll hear from American League skipper John Schneider. You're listening to the All-Star Game on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app.
King County Fair, July 16th to 19th. Bring the whole family for rodeo action, carnival rides, live music, and all the fair food you can handle. 4 days only. Enumclaw Expo Center. King County Fair, July 16th to 19th. Sponsored by Mutual of Enumclaw.
Everything that matters is at stake in a divorce. Your home, your savings, your children. For many of our clients, a divorce was unwanted. This is Rick Jones. At Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men, our team of experienced attorneys handle every aspect of a divorce and custody case. When stakes are high, you need a lawyer you can trust. Husbands and fathers trust Goldberg Jones. Visit us at goldbergjones.com to get your questions answered at no charge. That's goldbergjones.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Sundays are for the NWSL on ESPN. For world-class action.
How much do you love this game?
For the 2-time MVP magic.
Temwa Shawinga.
For the passion of the ride or dies.
Just absolutely crazy, crazy scenes.
It's the NWSL you love.
Look, this is the place to be.
NWSL Sundays on ESPN, presented by Ally. Also streaming on the ESPN app.
The NFL Flag Championships are back, and it's game on.
This is fast, it's fun.
The next generation, they came to play.
The energy is palpable. Touchdown! Wow!
Laying it all on the line in the premier youth flag football event of the summer.
Get set to crown a champion.
The NFL Flag Championships presented by Toyota. July 24th through 26th on ABC, ESPN, and more Disney networks. Stream all games on the ESPN app.
You know when you're locked in, focused, and fearless.
Welcome to the WNBA.
Your vision narrows. You can't look away. Every assist, every stop, every logo 3.
From beyond the logo!
Every did you see that moment?
You bet!
What records are going to be broken this season?
All of it, right here. Lock in. It's the WNBA on ESPN. All season long.
The Rich Eisen Show.
I've never watched a game with anybody who can see it before it happens. You witnessed it? Sure, over and over. They would break the huddle and go, this is interception. I'm like, how do you know that? What? And then it happens, and you're like, what the hell?
You guys act like Tony Romo doesn't exist and doesn't.
TJ, I don't know. Here we go. Let's take a break. We're back on The Rich Eisen Show. Read your phone calls.
Richie. The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. This is the 2026 Major League Baseball All-Star Game on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Jim Basketball back on baseball tonight, taking you to the 96 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The Guardians and White Sox, first teams to the 2014 Yankees to send multiple rookies to this All-Star Game. Parker Messick and Travis Bazzana, first Guardian rookies to make the All-Star team since 1990. This is the second time the White Sox have sent 2 rooks to the All-Star Game since 1951, with Murakami and Peters both named to this Midsummer Classic. As we mentioned, Mike Trout from Millville, New Jersey, some 40 miles from Philadelphia, leads off the American League starting lineup.
The American League starting lineup. Batting first, playing center field, Mike Trout, Los Angeles Angels. The 12th selection for the 2-time All-Star Game MVP. The Millville, New Jersey native is second among active players with 422 career home runs. Trout will play in a Midsummer Classic for the first time since 2019. Batting second, the DH, Yordan Alvarez, Houston Astros. The 4th All-Star selection for the 29-year-old from Cuba. Alvarez is the Major League leader in OPS and total bases, while hitting .318 with 31 homers and 70 RBIs. Batting third, at catcher, Shea Langoliers, Athletics. It's the first All-Star appearance for the 28-year-old backstop who leads All-American League catchers with 21 home runs. Langoliers is the first ace catcher to start an All-Star game since Terry Steinbach in 1989. Batting fourth, playing third base, Junior Caminero, Tampa Bay Rays. Since the start of 2025, only Shohei Ohtani and Cal Schwarber have hit more than Caminero's 73 home runs. The 23-year-old phenom becomes the first Rays player to start 2 All-Star games. The number 5 batter, shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr., Kansas City Royals. Third straight All-Star selection for Witt, who leads All-American League players in WAR at 4.8 and stolen bases with 29. Witt has also been flashing the leather, topping all of Major League Baseball with 18 outs above average. Batting 6 in left field, Cody Bellinger, New York Yankees. Third All-Star nod and his first since 2019 for the Bronx Bomber. Belly has reached double-digit homers for the 10th straight season and ranks in the top 5 in baseball defensive runs saved. Playing first base and batting 7th, Ben Rice, New York Yankees. It's the first All-Star game for the former 12th round pick from Dartmouth. Rice ranks in the top 3 in the American League in runs scored, RBIs, homers, slugging, and OPS. His 29 long balls are already a career high. In the 8-hole, left fielder Riley Green, Detroit Tigers. Green is the first Tigers player to be named to 3 straight All-Star games since Miguel Cabrera was named to 7 in a row. He's the first Detroit outfielder to accomplish that feat since Al Kaline more than 50 years ago. Batting ninth at second base, Ernie Clement, Toronto Blue Jays. Clement led All-American League players with over 3 million votes to earn a start at second. The 30-year-old first-time All-Star ranks in the top 5 in the AL in hits, doubles, and batting average. On the mound is starting pitcher Dylan Cease, Toronto Blue Jays. In 17 starts, Cease is sporting a 2.56 ERA and a league-leading 148 strikeouts. The hard-throwing right-hander is the only pitcher in baseball with 36 starts and 200 punch-outs in each of the last 5 seasons. Cease is the third Blue Jay to start the Midsummer Classic, joining Dave Steve and Roy Halladay.
Keep an eye on Alvarez and Caminero in that AL lineup, combining for 59 first-half home runs. By the way, Aroldis Chapman, an all-star for the 9th time in his career, tying Craig Kimbrell for second most by a reliever all-time. Toronto's John Schneider managing the all-star game for the first time in his career, joining Cito Gaston, who did it for the Jays in the 93-94 campaign. Schneider with our Doug Landville and Buster Olney.
John, you got a chance to pick your own guy to start the game, Dylan Cease. What was behind that?
Man, you get to see him every day for one, but I think just looking at like the stats we're looking at in terms of strikeouts, innings, quality starts, WAR, I mean, he's right up there, so kind of came down to him and Cam obviously having a good year, and it's cool to get to know him a little bit instead of watching him pitch against us, but it made a lot of sense with Dylan. I think, kind of body of work, too, throughout his career. It's crazy. It's his first All-Star game, and I think just kind of all those things kind of lined up to where he deserved a start.
I mean, speaking of first, what's it like to be able to have your staff here and just like, what's that been like?
Awesome. This is a lot, you know what I mean? And even Ernie said it yesterday. He's like, it's so cool you guys are here, because I'd be like a fish out of water. It's just like a normal day when you see people that are familiar. But it's so cool that you get to share it with the guys that went through last year with you and even years before. I'm close with all those guys, but it's a cool little